Happy Sunday, everybody. It's so good to see you on this beautiful Sunday morning. How are y'all doing out there, man? I don't know why. It feels like it's been so long since I've been in front of you. I mean, I know I was here last Sunday and I feel like I did something else live, but I guess because we did some traveling this week, it feels like it's been forever. So I am so glad to see all of you in the chat. As a matter of fact, I want to see the chat. I want to see what we got going on. Good morning, everybody. I see a Wendy. I see Miss Mistress Monica. I see Wendy again. I see Rose Malik OJ. Yes, sir. It's Sunday. I love it, man. Happy Sunday, everybody. Happy Sunday, everybody. And if you would, do me a favor, man. Find somebody else that you see and let them know that you're happy to see them, that you're happy to connect, that you're happy to talk. Today is going to be super laid back, super casual. I'm going to do my best to keep the eyes on the chat because I want to see your conversations. And so let me see if I can go ahead and make your chats over here a little bigger so that way I can look over there kind of as a reference to see what's going on, to see how you're living. Actually, let's make that easy. I'm just going to pop that bad boy out. Oh, man. Okay, so I have a lot to talk about today. So I have some guided conversation, and as we're going along, I'll be doing my best to keep my eye on the chat just to make sure I can see y'all. And if there's any questions that pop up, I'll do my best to address them. And y'all know me now. This is live, unfiltered, and uncut. I know your elementary teachers told you ain't no such thing as a stupid question. I'm going to tell you to read the room, all right? Jalapeno. Can I get a hell yeah? Jalapeno. Can I get a hell yeah? For those of you who are new to this experience, we don't have like religious words. We don't use terminology that we don't know the meaning of. And I don't just say that tongue in cheek. I mean, you ask the average Christian who you just next time you hear somebody say, man, hallelujah. You just say, you know what? I've been meaning to ask somebody what that word means. And just watch how quickly their whole what? Nobody's ever asked me such thing. So what does it mean? It means praises. It means the highest praise. That's how we did it in the Black church. Hallelujah is the highest praise. But here we don't do hallelujah. We do jalapenos because, man, everybody like a little spiciness in their life. You feel me? So we do jalapeno. And instead of amen is such an outdated, antiquated Egyptian term that got co-opted by these Christian folks. So instead of saying amen, again, y'all saw how I just walked that thing down there. We just go ahead and use the more modernized term. Hell yeah. Let me get a hell yeah. Hell yeah. Preachers say, let me get an amen. But Bridge City preachers, we say, let me get a hell yeah. Jalapeno. See, it just feels good. It feels good. Okay. And man, I see it. Velvet Bunny. I love it. Hell yeah. Yes. Mortgage Hill Musings. Yes. Happy Sunday, Darante and family. Bob from Starkville here. Thanks so much for coming to MSU, man. It was such an honor to be there. I'm actually going to talk a little bit about that today in a few. Hell yeah, man. I love our community. That is awesome. Now this isn't in my little notes to talk about today, but I did want to point this out just because Bob is here in the chat and he's been hanging out with us a few Sundays now. And what you're seeing from Bridge City now is still just the very beginning, right? This is still just very, very beginning. Everything is kind of built around me right now. And that's something that I'm trying to get us out of. I'm trying to get us out of that personality paralysis phase, right? Because there's so much opportunity for other people to get things done and for other people to contribute. And one thing that Bob does, it's just something he already does. One thing that Bob does with his family is they make music, educational music and stuff like that is more attractive to families and children, and a major department. I have nobody to lead this arm of Bridge City Global yet, and we don't have our first local campus isn't as organized yet to have a person to handle this yet. But a major part of our experience for Bridge City Global, or at least one of those departments, which focuses on children and families, will be called like generations, right? That means we're focused on the babies, the students, the college and career age folk, because right now, just because of my age, the main experience is already going to cater to people within my age range, but then there are going to be people who connect to this movement who are well beyond my age range. And while they love the broader Sunday experience, they still want something that connects them where they are. Same thing with children, teens, and stuff like that. So Bob is someone that's been on my mind that we can actually start maybe every now and then integrate a segment during our Sunday sessions or do a stream that's more targeted towards children, specifically on the Bridge City Global channel, so we can do some great things and have some stuff that actually appeals. Yes. Yep, that's it. Providing resources for family and kids. I've been to a lot of events, and that is one thing that I've noticed. And I'm like, man. And so, and some of that we might get into today's conversation. And again, y'all, today's conversation is very, which means I can biggie size this now, is very casual. For those of you who are new, we do stuff like this sometimes. Some Sundays I get up here and preach my little secular ass off, and we have a good time. Jalapeno, we have a good time. Glory to me and glory to y'all too. Jalapeno, we have a good time when I come in here and preach. Other times I find other people in the community who have similar trajectories to our vision and the things that we're trying to do and the things that we're trying to make happen. And we have some incredible conversations. Those conversations, I've had Forrest Valkai on for a conversation on soft science versus hard science and how those things can work together, how you can pull inspiration and motivation from science. Because listen, y'all, that's, if I don't know if you're paying attention, my whole stick is people-centric, not who's the smartest, not who's the wisest, not who's the most accurate. Mine is like, who's doing the most for people? How does this impact people? How do we help people? How do we push people forward? Yes. Am I a stickler on critical thinking? Yes, for my life. I am. Oh my goodness, for my life. But I typically don't go around just picking on other people, and that's not what I'd want at least Bridge City to be categorized by. I'd prefer Bridge City to be categorized by that space for someone. It's available for everybody, but from the space of people, needing to fix their thinking, I'd want it to be a place that they can go to and on their own kind of, figure that thing out. It's safe for them to ask their questions. I really advocate moving away from the bullying perspective. I don't like that just got so good. Okay, yeah, but anyway, so we have great conversations. I see my homie Wilson is in the chat too, which I think I got to send out an email to y'all this week because I got a call. That's not in my notes. I'm putting it in my notes. Hold up. I got to hold up. Hey, who knows that song? Who knows that song? I'll give $50 to whoever can drop that song in the chat. I'm just playing. I'll treat you to Chick-fil-A though. You got to go today, but you get Chick-fil-A on me. Chick-fil-A on me, but you got to go today. I stole that joke from a preacher. I'm not going to lie. What was I putting in here? Y'all, what was I excited about? Oh, upcoming call. I have an upcoming call. Dang it. Upcoming call with BC hosts and leads. And so now that's in my notes to talk about today as well as we get through here, Now, something I have been playing with because, like, again, when I pastored the hood church, and I'm not even getting my notes. The whole point was, okay, I got to say it. I'll try to get back to that introduction and we'll get back around. Hey, it's free flow day. You know what I'm saying? But damn it, I may have just messed myself up and lost that whole point. You know what I'm saying? But I know I got to get that email out to them, but that's on my notes to talk about. But okay, so this channel, sometimes I'm gonna get in here preach. Other times I'm getting in an interview, to pull some inspiration. I think that's where I was going because so many times I see things where we're right, but I just don't know what people are gonna get out of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, I proved to you that you believe in the specific design of the earth according to the Bible was just ludicrous, But as the type of pastor that I was, now I know where I was going. As the type of pastor that I was, I'm still that type of person where honestly, I don't care about all that. Like, not for real. Like, I don't. I want you to know that if that's your genuine interest. Now, what I try to point out, and you can go back to my early videos and see that's what I've been calling out for the longest. Like, this is why it's so frustrating arguing with the theists many times, because most time they're not genuinely interested in the stuff that they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? That's why they rely on apologetics or the testimonies of others. Someone who is relying on the testimony of others is someone who has not been persuaded or convinced. It's just popular. They've been popularized. They've been inculcated. They've been damn near inebriated, everything but inoculated. See, preachers can do shit like that. You feel me? But they've already, kind of drank in the Kool-Aid, but they have not been convinced. You cannot be convinced into something that you haven't comprehended. And that's the dangerous thing. Like if you're truly convinced this person is going to be able to give you a cogent type of argument, some type of rationale behind what they do, but these motherfuckers ain't convinced. They're just drinking somebody else's Kool-Aid. And that's why the whole conversation arguing with them is going to be about stuff that is bullshit. And so, like, while no, I do want people to be smarter, man. I want people to let go of bullshit, but I do want them to do it in ways where they actually get genuine about the things that you're actually interested in. That was one of the questions I answered at the Q&A at MSU. It was like, how would you answer a question on this? And I'm like, I just reject that question because I'm not even interested in that conversation. I just got that freedom to be me like that. All right. So now I was going to say this gimmicky thing. So when I was a pastor, urban type pastor, one of the things we used to do, and I got it from one of my mentors, man, and people didn't like it, but I loved it. We had this thing called $50 friend. Jalapeno. Oh, jalapeno. Glory to me and all of y'all too. So we do the $50 friends. And what we would do is just everybody could nominate somebody, and then we just pull a random name. Like you got somebody that and you say, this is a friend that's just worth $50. They worth a random $50. If I had a random $50 right now and I just had money like that and I knew they wouldn't be offended, I'd reach out to them right now and say, you know what? I had $50 and I was thinking about you. Don't you want friends like that? I would love friends that would just be like, you know what, man? I got $50 and I was just thinking about you. Here you are. So now, obviously, what this was a membership drive. This was a attendance drive, if you will. So, I don't know if we did it every first Sunday or every fifth Sunday, but it was a specific Sunday. And if it was specific, it was typically, why can't I say that word? Typically gonna be first or fifth. Now, like the more traditional churches, they got something on first Sunday, second Sunday, third Sunday, fourth Sunday, and I'm like, that's just every Sunday now. Now that at that moment, that's just too much now. Or you got something on you got something on second Sunday, and then you got another thing on fourth Sunday, and I'm like, that's confusing. Ain't nobody gonna keep up with that, So we just did first Sunday, and last Sunday, if we were gonna do something, there was something special. Family and Friends Day was the fifth Sunday. That it only comes like 3 to 4 times a year. You know what I'm saying? But first Sunday might have been that time. So anyway, we do $50 friends. People would tell their friends, hey, I nominated you. I don't know if you're going to be picked, but hey, if you in the house on Sunday, you could be in the number. And so, of course, yes, that man, my crowd was urban. So the truth of the matter is all of us was broke. All of us could have used a little help with some gas money, some groceries, even if you got everything else right, you just been living on a tight line for so long. That's family of 4, like that's been struggling, like eating weenies and sardines and shit, and I ain't knocking them, like, because I eat like a country boy sometimes, so I ain't knocking nobody, but you know what I'm saying. You get listen. I said, oh, wrong congregation, my bad. Hilarious. But it just becomes helpful. You ain't been able to have crab legs in a while, and bam, the church give you $50. But it really demonstrated, and I couldn't articulate it at the time. That's one of the things that actually kind of bothered me once I started deconverting and deconstructing, is how many wasted moments we had to really make a sincere difference, right? Because we were just so caught up in the shallow of, like, the goal was get people into the church so that they can get saved, so they can go to heaven. Get people into the church so they can get saved and they can go to heaven. But then you start dealing with the thing, well, dang, if people leaving the church, are they getting out of heaven? Are they doing stuff they ain't supposed to be doing anymore? Are we failing? You get on that, and that's just like, yikes, that's a mind fuck. So you always kind of got to have these ways of getting people in the door and keeping keeping the church open. But this was a beautiful example of collective economics that could have been expanded. Like, it was a wonderful example of collective economics. The problem was, which is, and this is going to make me sound like a jackass a little bit, but it is what it is. The problem was, we were a church filled with people who were not middle class, filled with people who were lower class. The majority of our workers, with the exception, I'd say maybe 2% of our members had middle to high class income, but the majority, like 98%, were either unemployed or underemployed, and the ones that were or criminally employed. Jalapeno. Yeah. We took all money at Kingdom Central. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Now, and that wasn't a greed thing. That was it was a thing like I just refuse to be a hypocrite. I don't know where nobody else's money come from, and I don't even ask. Like I ain't got no application of what they do, and I'm not about to tell somebody who make their money illegally to go quit and work at McDonald's, because then that's probably ain't gonna match nowhere near what they bringing on. They just invited struggle into their family based off of my shallow ass advice, who don't know the details, the variables, or what the options are. Ah, man, that's good stuff right there. That's good stuff. Criminally employed. You got to do what you got to do. Didn't Erica Badu talk about that in the rules of the game? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Oh, man, I love it. I love it. Oh, man. Yeah, critical thinking is good. Critical thinking is good. But damn, what was I saying, man? Y'all done got me looking at y'all. But no, everybody was like, they worked at places like Subway, McDonald's, Walmart half of the time. They were people who came from broken families, broken situations, worked in factories. That was like a step up. Like if you got in a factory, boy, you was on your way out the hood into the apartments, man. Let's go. And I mean, it really was like that. And I mean, we celebrated. And so what I start realizing after deconstructing, and again, I ain't even got in my notes yet. This is supposed to be me telling y'all. I don't even know at this moment. But when I got into the point of deconstructing, I started looking back at all of the good things we had did as a church. And I mean, we did a lot of incredibly good things. Like, I mean, they were good things. I mean, blessing somebody with $50 on a random Sunday, man, you never know how much it means to somebody until you do it. You know what I'm saying? And at first you think, man, ain't nobody about to be happy about no 50, which I don't even think we started with 50. I think my mentor was doing, my mentor was doing, what's up, Dark Light? My mentor was doing 50, and I was like, we'll start at 25. But like people would come in and we do it on that first Sunday, and you'd be, you think people are just gonna be like, oh, thank you, this is so great. But sometimes it would be emotionally overwhelming for people. People are like, oh, you give me $50? You have no idea how much I've been going through. Life has been so hard. And I'm like, whoa. That's just 50. That is only $50, all right? Oh, damn, this might be a deeper problem than we thought, y'all. Like, but that's literally, it was emotionally overwhelming. And at that moment, I don't even think it was about the money, right? I think it was more so about the aspect of somebody did something for me. And that is like, that's the power of collective economics. You can do stuff like that. You can. My argument to myself now, if I can go back and tell myself then, I was like, your church isn't healthy enough to do all of these good outreach things yet, though. So instead, because like, who was excluded from that? My members. Because the whole thing is to get new people in the door. So you don't want to rig the system where all your members just kind of like voting on each other every Sunday, But so what that meant was they were creating these wonderful moments that allowed us to either bless people individually with this $50, on a first Sunday, or bless a large group of people with our food giveaways, with our homeless stand down, which again, all of these were great things that our membership made possible. But if I was to go back through and look at them and say, hey, if I was to go back as a consultant, I would say, hey, this is actually fiscally irresponsible. Your first obligation is to your membership, so that way you can help them become stronger. That way you can help them be healthier, because many of you, if you followed my story, like a major crack for me was after we did this gas giveaway, beautiful gas giveaway. Again, people are crying because we're not just like, it's not like we're just giving out gas cards for this one. I go to the gas station and I say, hey, I want to pay for the first 100 people or so, or just, I think it's just however many people we can cover gas with this amount over the next few hours, right? I had reached out to the city for help, to the police, to kind of let them know, hey, we're going to do this. They weren't trying to hear it, weren't trying to take out. Y'all don't need no help for this. All right. It ain't us that need the help now, okay? So, but we did it, and we didn't give them cards. No, you pull up, We're out there. We're going to wash your windows if you want them to be washed. We're going to pump the gas. You let us know, 87, 93 or the whatchamacallit. And our people are going to talk to you, and they're going to reach through your little window and give you a little goodie bag, got some little stuff in it. And then it got obviously all of our marketing stuff on it, because like, why not? Psh, I won't feel bad for it. Got our marketing stuff on it. And it's like, hey, come to church. I think this had to be around Easter, because I think I was doing a new series called Refresh. And I think it's 2012. And like, people are coming up from all over the city. And I think we like had a limit of just everybody could only get like $20, just to make sure we could stretch it out. And it literally shut down our little small city, man. And the police, who rejected the help in the beginning, had to get their asses out there and help. They had to get out there and direct traffic. But there was one moment that caught my eye and really kind of broke my heart a little bit. There was an old lady whose car had run out of gas while she was waiting in line. And of course, the men from my church, we got behind her car and we pushed it up to the tank when it was her turn. And so while we're getting there, we're doing the stuff, asking her what she needs, giving her a goodie bag. She's telling us her story. And again, kind of like the example I just gave about the $50, my mind kind of went there, because she starts crying about, how rough life has been. And again, I'm not saying that we shouldn't do these moments. That's not where this is going. These moments are powerful moments of human connection. They're powerful moments of human contact, and people need that. They need that feeling of being loved, being considered, to know that, dang, somebody's concerned about me, and I personally feel like that's the role of nonprofits, to be that. So that's the beautiful part. But I could also hear like the seriousness of the issue, though, because it was like, oh, this $20 is only gonna get them so far. And I think me and my team, we had hyped up this event in our minds that we are changing people's lives. And I realized at that moment, like, we really not, and nor are we really trying to. At best, we're helping people feel good in a moment. We're giving people a moment. And I'm saying those moments are powerful. Those moments are necessary, but there's a big difference between giving somebody a moment and giving somebody some help. That's a big difference. And so, I was like, I started wrestling with the idea, and y'all have probably heard me talk about this a million times. I started wrestling with the idea of like, did we even try to help, or was the concern only, what's the way to get more people in? And I'm not mad at that. Like, if we're honestly, like, growth is good. I love growth, right? I'm not mad if we're doing something to grow. That's not a problem for me. That's not a problem for me at all. But if we're doing something to grow and disguising it as we're doing something to help, that's inauthentic to me. Like, that's where it doesn't line up for me in a way that I feel comfortable with, right? And so I remember sitting with that discomfort. I'm like, that wasn't the conversation that led us here. Even though we're trying to impact the city, we're trying to make a big difference. And the real thing was, we were just trying to create a moment. And honestly, that would have been better messaging. It would have been better messaging from a marketing perspective, that we're just trying to create moments, man. But our messaging was, we're trying to help the citizens of Dothan. We're trying to save the world. Boy, you ain't saving the world with $20 per person. Like that, get out of here with that. But what we could have done, we could have done more things to actually support our members. A small thing that we could have done that, like, I damn near cried about one day when I thought about it, because we had access to so much software at our church to run everything that we had, to run our systems and stuff. We had so much software because we did everything in-house, like, someone made a comment about me using AI and was like, you taking artist jobs. I'm like, you must not know about me. I've been taking artist jobs since I got here. That's like literally why I became an artist. I mean, it wasn't to take day job. It's because I'm poor just like them. Shoot. Like, so I've done my own stuff. That's why I learned how to play the piano. That's why I learned how to sing. That's why I learned how to paint. That's why I learned how to draw. That's why I learned how to graphic design. That's why I learned how to video edit. That's how I learned how to computer program. I look around and say, what do I need to get what I want? And then I do it. And anybody trying to force me to do otherwise for their little virtue signaling ways, I proudly and promptly tell them to fuck off. Resist the urge to police other people. Now, I will never disrespect your values. Whatever your values are, I will be curious about. I will be interested in. up until the moment you try to force them motherfuckers on me and I don't even know who the fuck you are. Please stay away from me with childish stuff like that, right? You telling an artist that you stealing an artist's jobs. Every artist is trying to steal an artist's job. You better get with the program. Every actor out there is trying to steal another actor's job. Y'all don't know? No, let me stop. Okay, so anyway, and I'm an anarchist, so I just really don't give a damn I really don't give a damn about what most people think. I just want you to have the right to think it, what you think and what you do. And that's one thing, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's one thing that absolutely aggravates me in the secular community. There has been more than 1 day a week where I'm saying, I don't know if I want to be associated with this community anymore. The constant policing of each other about things that don't matter or about things that you're not actively actually involved in doing anything about. It's like your life is in shambles and you're over here trying to police other people. Like, wow. Let's there's an old quartet gospel song that they used to sing in the South that says, sweep around your own front porch before you come over here trying to sweep around mine. Like, damn, like, wow. And y'all, I'm not trying to be hard on people. If y'all have heard my story, y'all have heard, this is how I talk to myself. Like, what is the utility of you out here pinpointing what they do? Okay, now, if they stop doing what they did and start doing what you want them to do, who did they help? What did it help? What did it change? Your preferences should be nobody else's policy. And if you're the type of person who does that, you need to grow the fuck up. It's very easy. And y'all know I'll quickly tell people that. Like, oh no, you need to grow up. You need to grow up. It's not healthy. It's not healthy. It's, what I'm gonna see is that your life is likely missing attention from you in the places that it really matters because you're so busy focused on other people. Now, this is what I mean when I say deprogram, reprogram, and transform. Coming out of the matrix is only the first part. Stepping out of the illusion is only the first part. You have to discover the parts of you that made you more susceptible to the illusion in the first place. What do you want that's in that? What did you like that was in there? You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, you're going to keep going there. You're going to keep going there. This is why I'm a humanist. I'm a humanist because I believe all humans are valuable, even if they believe some stupid shit, and I believe I should have the right to say that is stupid shit, even if they believe it's the most important thing in the world. Like, my fight isn't with what people believe, what people think. My fight is making sure they don't have the capacity to push that shit on nobody else. And I think the problem in this world is we all think we believe that. We all think we believe that until it's our belief that's under the hot seat. We all think we want a world where everybody has the right to think how they want to think. We all think we want a world where everybody's rights are protected and everybody's beliefs are protected until somebody beliefs makes us personally mad. He uses AI. I can't believe him. Glitch, you don't even know me. Who are you? What? Son of a glitch. Life's a glitch and then you die. I don't know you, Glitch. Get from around me. Stop doing that. Stop having these expectations of strangers. I did this to myself. I haven't even got in my notes, y'all. I did this to myself. I put myself through this same speech one day because I was complaining like a motherfucker because my wife loves reality television. And I'm not going to lie. It's appetizing. The shit is appetizing. It's funny, but it's sad. I can always laugh, but it's going to be some heavy critique for me, right? And so we were watching something with T.I. and Tiny. And I'm from the South. I kind of like T.I.'s music. I've been rocking with T.I. for a minute, Like, I wasn't a fan because I was a preacher. But, after I got deconverted, man, I did a little deep dive. It was like, oh, damn, man, I remember these songs. I didn't know what they were talking about because I had to listen to them from the other room, But we was watching something with T.I. and Tiny, and I love T.I., but damn it, I can't stand Tiny. I mean, not even a little bit. That's mad, right? Somebody whose name is Tiny and you can't even stand them a tiny bit. Like, it's just rough. And I saw every time we'd watch their little show, which I did enjoy the show. It was one of the more positive shows. I think it was T.I. Tiny's Family Hustle. It was actually a really good show. Now that, dang, I was not mad at. It was very positive. Just didn't like Tiny. And every time we watched the show, I complained about how much I didn't like Tiny. And I nitpicked this woman's whole life. And then it just kind of hit me like, whoa, bro. Because I think I was like, I don't even know why he married her. And then it was like, why does that even matter? Like, like, why is this a thing for you? You don't know these people. These people don't know you. You don't know what makes them happy. You have superimposed yourself into somebody else's life in a way that has absolutely no utility to your own personal growth and development. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, bruh, you got to pull out of that. You got to pull out of that. No, you can't do that. Get out them people business. Get out them people business, man. And it felt so, man, yeah, like, don't be a groupie. Keep it moving. You don't know me. Like, stop it. So I checked myself. So now I will tell you something. Now, I don't practice what everybody preach. And that's why you can't just come up on me on any kind of way. Can't just do that. And he's like, oh, I thought he was going to be nice. No, my goal is not to be nice. I tell you that right now. Like, I don't know you yet. I don't know if you friend or foe. So my goal is not to be nice. You come in respectful. I'm going to always be respectful. You say some foul shit, I'm coming at you, but always with mind and words, and then I'm going to move on. But anyway, I got to get into these dang notes. You know what I'm saying? I got to get here. But that's how I talk to myself. And I practice what I preach. I don't practice what everybody else preach, but I practice what I preach. So anytime you see me kind of going a little hard on somebody, it's because, no, that's what I do to myself, and I owe everybody to love everybody the way that I love myself. Now, some people got to pay for that. You got to pay for that type of love. Does that make me sound like a hoe? That you got to pay for that close, intimate time? That you got to pay for that deep dive? I shouldn't say deep dive. That just, okay, let me get out of this. I got to move on. All right. So happy, y'all. I'm so glad that I'm not a Christian anymore. So glad that I'm not a pastor anymore, because I can just talk and be real and be me. Even though, it is very clear that I am still a pastor, just a very different type of pastor. But I kind of reject the term pastor because, it still has those shepherding connotations. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm not going to be your shepherd. I don't want nobody following me. Like, what the fuck you behind me for? Why you spying on me? No, we just following you. Nah, no, leave me alone. No, let me stop. But no, I don't want to be anybody's shepherd. And I'd actually prefer to see a world where we move from that, model of needing other people to be a source of truth for us, of needing other people to tell us what we need to do. This is one of the reasons why I love the therapy model, because when you get a good therapist, they don't exist to tell you what you should do. They don't exist to tell you how you should think. They exist to help you process your own thoughts, to help you get to that conclusion on your own. So I want to move away from that model as much as we can. Yeah, I love that. We should find our own path, but be inspired by others to dig deeper into our own worlds. Absolutely. If that's why you notice, like, I don't too much talk about my beliefs. I talk about possibilities. I believe a lot of things, but my beliefs are for me. You know what I'm saying? They're not for others. I live my beliefs. And if somebody else wants to share my beliefs, it will be because they see the way that I live. And they say, you know what? I might want to live like that, not that, oh, he wants me to live like that, or other people think I should live like that. But it's like, and this is me, y'all know I'm an anarchist. Like, I don't believe anybody should adopt anybody else's rules. I think everybody should just look around, peep the scene, and take what you like and spit out what you don't. Life is a buffet, and you're a part of that experience. You get to see what you want to do with your life through other people, but none of us should cross that line and start saying, well, you need to do it like I do it. Like, who the fuck are you? Like, no. I think we need to move away from that model. That's the only, like, when I study things, I take the long view. And what I see is that every time we allow humanity to expand beyond the barriers of our previous thought patterns, it creates innovative growth cycles. We have careers today that would not have been possible if we still viewed the world where farming was the only valuable thing you could do, you know? And so I'd prefer a world, there are people who still call me pastor, and I don't be like, don't call me that, because I know we make the meaning, not the words themselves. We make the meaning. So, but that is one of the reasons why I'm like, I don't necessarily, it's just, depending on who's saying it, it don't always make me feel good, but I can grow up. I can get over myself if other people can too. But no, I want a world where where we are all leaders. Leadership isn't the power you have over anybody else. It's the power you have over you. God damn it. Let me say that one more time. Leadership is not the authority you have over anybody else. Jalapeno. Leadership is the authority you have over you. It's the discipline you have over your own life. This is why good leaders don't like working with followers. They like working with other leaders, because I know you're going to handle your business and I'm going to handle my business, and we all going to win and we all going to eat. We're not sitting. Man, ain't nothing worse than backseat drops. Are we there yet? We there yet? Are we done yet? Is this what it looks like yet? No, I need people who can lead themselves, who can see what's going on and say, no, I'm in here. Let's go. Let's know. I got my part. Not people who are constantly asking, what can I do? But people who are constantly telling you, this is what I do. Damn it. I'm preaching good. Can I get a hell yeah? Can I get a hell yeah? Preaching good. Preaching good now. And when are you supposed to? This is just supposed to be a casual talk. This is just supposed to be a casual talk, But that's what, to me, that's what moves us forward. Hell yeah. Jalapeno, yeah. Come on now. Jalapeno. Like it's good. Like that's what makes us great. And I think we have to move towards that. I think we have to create space for people to be able to exist as their authentic selves. And it may not make sense to them when they first start thinking it through. Listen to me. When I first started thinking through like Bridge City, and shit, y'all think I'm crazy for Bridge City. Just wait till you see what my plans are for Mastermind, Omniverse, Windows Shop, and Together We Can. Like I have big plans. I grew up on Pinky and the Brain. What you trying to do today? Same thing I was trying to do yesterday. Trying to take over the world. I don't know why I mixed MLK in with brain, but it works. It works. I like it. But no, I have big brain dreams. You know what I'm saying? So I'm out here working my ass off, not to please anybody else. I'm trying to accomplish my goal, and I'm just trying to find a few folk who are just as hungry as I am, that are like, nope. Let me tell you something, man. Once I realized who I was, once I realized who I could be, once I realized how powerful humanity is, once I realized the capacity of humanity, like every fucking record every record we set for ourselves, we break it, man. Like, man, that's the species you're a part of. Like, I know people give humanity a bad rap. Yes, we've done some fucked up things. That's just how it is. Shit, the universe has done some fucked up things. Weather has done some fucked up things. Sometimes weather treats you real nice, don't it? Sometimes it treats you real nice. Sometimes weather can be treating you nice and treating somebody else like shit at the same time. I feel bad for all my white friends because the sun be kicking y'all ass, man. And I'd be like, leave my friends alone. I got the bubble gun out there and everything. Like, I got y'all, you know what I'm saying? But no, like that's the reality. That's just the reality of things. But I look at us as a species, man, as a species with great capacity for empathy, with great capacity for innovation, with great capacity to rise, because that's what we've been doing ever since we got here. We've been rising. Have we fallen sometimes? Hell yeah. But who the fuck hasn't? It is the ideology of thinking that it could ever exist without the fall. That's the problem in the first place. It's the ideology of thinking that there was some perfection that we started at, that we failed from. That is what is making us look at this the wrong way. We are not fallen sinners. We are rising apes. We have risen from the depths of complexity to get a better understanding of each other. Man, it was just 500 years ago when we were killing each other on sight. But look at how far we've come. Every record we set for ourselves, we break it. We break it. This is only the beginning of our story. Oh my goodness. Ever since I let go of the idea of needing something supernatural, of needing something undefinable, I've been able to fall back in love with the wonder of just existing. Jalapeno. You know, like, damn, when I think about being alive, When I think about being alive, for every living thing, everything that is alive is a representative of an unbroken lineage of fucking survivors. Every single one of you that are alive, you are the representation of an unbroken lineage of living beings that lived long enough to pass along the genetic information that would have you here today. That means nobody died before you could get here ever since the damn beginning. Like what? And what? You better recognize who you are. That's what this crippling theology has robbed us of. It trapped us in a perfect past that doesn't exist and has so many of us fighting backwards even while we're moving forward. Damn, that's good. Can I get a hell yeah? Like, no, man, we're amazing. We're amazing. We just haven't learned how to get naked with ourselves and be honest. You know, I remember one time, and this was when I was on the verge of deconstructing, on the verge of deconverting, and I was in tears, like crying out to God, I can't take this. Shay, I know that's right. I can't take this. This is too much for me. This is gonna kill me. I can't handle this. And then at one point, I remember saying, like, but dude, like, watch it. I said, I don't know how I'm going to make it through this. And I was like, but dude, didn't you say that last time? Didn't you say that the time before that? Even then, didn't you say that the time before that? Like, if you didn't make it through, you wouldn't be sitting right here to be saying that same pathetic shit again. So what you really need to ask yourself is, how is it that I keep making it through, but start treating myself like I'm incapable of it? How is it that I keep making it through, but keep treating myself like I'm incapable of handling it? How is it that I keep making it through over and over and over again, but I don't give myself the credit for pulling myself through? Robbing myself of all of these victories, all of the times I made it through when it looked like there was no way out, and I'm sitting here crying like I'm not the heavyweight champion of the fucking world. What? Nah, bruh. Never again. No, I know who I am. That's the trick, to make you feel like you need a God. No, I don't need the genie. I'm magical all by my damn self. I'm a magical motherfucker. Jalapeno. Can I get a hell yeah? It's not that we out here taking belief from people. We're putting that belief where it belongs. We're putting that belief where it's already been tested. We're putting that belief where it's already been verified. Back in yourself, back in the capacity of humanity, back into knowing what we're capable of doing based off of what we've already done. Old gospel song. It ain't that old, but it's old because, I'm getting older. But it says, if he did it before, he'll do it again. Same God right now, same God back then. That's how you need to start talking about yourself. Motherfucker, if I did it before, I can do it again. Same me right now is the same me from back then. You can't throw something at me that I can't get through. Now, that's just how I live. That's how I live, because I started counting my battles and start saying, dang, D, every time you thought you wasn't going to make it, bruh, look at you now. Look at you now. So no, I want you to know what you're capable of. No, I want you to know, bruh, like, I don't have the help I need right now because enough people don't believe in themselves. Whew. It's heavy. Most people ain't even aiming for the top. If you're around me, that's going to be a big disconnection. Like, if you want to be comfortable in the room for me with me, your ass got to be aiming high. Otherwise, you're going to feel like I'm speaking down on you. I promise to God. I promise you. No, let me see. I promise to me. There we go. I like it. Yep. because we need more people who are aiming high. And some people aren't aiming high. They've convinced themselves, well, I just can't aim that high. I just can't do that. But, just high stuff is for other people. And I don't know, maybe it's because I got a preference for weed that high is always for me. But I need people that are aiming high. This community needs people who are aiming high. It needs people who see themselves as capable of aiming high. And that's what I begin to realize. Many people don't sign up to aim high, because they've already accepted this false illusion that I'm just a cog in the machine. The machine is an illusion. There is no machine. Tell you a little secret about politics real quick, and it's going to be unpopular, but it is what you need to know. It's what you need to understand. Little secret about politics. There's no machine. The machine is an illusion. This is the one thing that I've been saying is so jumping on the trampoline. Yes. It's so irresponsible politically, is that every 4 years we get people together and ask them for their vote while abandoning them for the next 4 years. Real political movement begins with political education, not with political begging. Begging me for my vote while not creating systems where my neighborhood and my community members can be perpetually, consistently, safely educated on what is at stake politically, what is possible politically, refusing to organize people locally and actually create opportunities so other things are growing. See, at that moment, we're not playing politics anymore. We're playing games. It's so irresponsible to take a candidate that you chose and just throw them in front of the people. I just got to, so what we have to think about. And so, and I don't talk politics, right? I don't talk politics a lot. When I do, it's unpopular. I don't give a damn because I've done it all. I've done the mobilizing. I've done the organizing. And just like I say to Christians who say, oh, you were never saved, I call them fucking posers. That's what I say to anybody else who has anything to say about my approach. Because my approach is trying to put communities where people are, so that we do have safe spaces to actually have these conversations, not just platforms to spew our opinions and criticisms for clickbait and rage bait, while still leaving unprotected people unprotected because we're being just as superstitious as everybody else, expecting somebody else to solve our problem. But if you really want to use my ancestors and their blueprints for liberation, then you need to get serious about what liberation requires. And liberation is not about begging somebody else to fix your problems. It's not even about trying to hold somebody else accountable to change their minds. It's about SYOP, solve your own problem. And the problem is you cannot do it by yourself. Everybody is so fucking caught up in video games and hanging out and parties and drinking and just sex. Who the fuck is building a community? Who is there to have something there to support people when the bad people pull the rugs out? You cannot spend your whole time being reactive to what other people are doing. At some point, you have to organize around the things that actually matter and the things that bring value. Why is it that the only things we organize around are the things that just make us angry and make us feel good while not doing anything to make us productive? Solve your own problem. That's how we have to approach it. That's what community is. Community is the catalyst to solve your own problem, which takes us back full circle to what these things kind of talk about. That I realized that we had so many missed opportunities. Yep, we had a little land. We could have immediately started a community garden. We had the capacity. We already had the collective economics. We were poor, but we were faithful. Damn it, I feel like preaching. Y'all about to make me come out of this jacket. Jalapeno. Ashe and ashe indeed, Might even throw a namaste in here, jalapeno. Can I get a hell yeah? No, we had missed opportunities. We could have started a community garden. We were already practicing the power of collective economics. We were a poor church, but we had a few faithful people. Like most churches, here's something that you don't know. It's only about 20% of the people that are really supporting. And that is a little depressing. It's like, damn. But that should also be a little encouraging because it should let you know, damn, 20% can do a lot. 20% can do a lot. So when you see things not getting done, it's not because it's not possible. It's because there's not enough people working together. Like I said, we had programs and software that we had to have access to run all the things that we were running, to maintain 2 services and to run our screens and all of that stuff, to run our administration. And these were licenses that we could have upgraded, and it would have been a little more costly, but we could have upgraded and made access to all of our members. So then one of the members of being, one of the benefits of being a member of our church back then for Kingdom Central could have been, if you're a member here, if you need access to anything Microsoft Office, you have access to it through your membership code. You know, if you're a member here and you're either interested in, or you're in the working in sound engineering or video editing or graphic design, we have a full suite with Adobe, you know, whatever. Here's your membership code. It's those things were small. They wouldn't have been big and they wouldn't have been glamorous. But when I think about things on a long term, I'm like, damn, that would have actually helped somebody. For many people, that's the difference between being underemployed and being gainfully employed. Is having access to something where you can practice the skills at your own pace on things that you are already interested in. I was such a private child. I'm not an only child, but I was raised as an only child. Using the word "raised" is real loose right there. But I grew up as an only child, but I spent a lot of times writing about things that were interesting to me, like creating stories and stuff. And so sometimes when people look at me today and it's like, man, how are you this well? How are you so articulate? And mind you, this is me doing this with all type of little impediments. I have speech impediments. I don't always say the right words. My brain wires things differently. But if you'll notice, like, I don't give a damn as long as you got the point. I'm gonna keep fucking rolling because I'm not pedantic, I guess, you know. But anyway, the point is, we could have helped so many people. We could have changed lives. We could have, there are some small things we could have done. Another very small thing we could have done is just, hey, you remember here, we have this campus. There's always someone here for the campus. And I live in a state where the laws on this is surprisingly lax, but we could have easily opened up a daycare for our members. You know, there were real things we could have done that would have helped our members move from one stage in their life to the other stage in their lives. And that would have been more responsible and ethical than doing the giveaways, the gas giveaways. If anything, that was modeling bad financial stewardship in front of them and using their money to do it. And so that's how, like, and that's why I mean, like, now I run everything by a test, right? Things could be good. Hey there. Things could be good, but the question that I have to answer is, but is it beneficial? And if so, how? You know, and are we skipping over the people first? So like even as we're starting our Bridge City SoCal community, as they continue to build, we have San Diego and LA. As they continue to build, the goal there will be for them to be able to, using their own cooperative economics, like they're going to be taking up money. They can do it weekly, however they want to do, but it's of the members and it's at the members' will. Nobody's obligated, compulsing, or anything like that, but they'll send a little bit back to the big house, send a little bit back to the mothership so we can continue to expand. But by far and large, what that is going to be there, of course, is to employ their support staff, personnel that they have there to make sure they're covering their expenses to exist, doing their, you know, marketing stuff. Don't leave that shit up to chance. But then also being able to be a support system for their growing membership. And I don't mean just for emergencies. Like, yeah, that's great. We want to do that too. Let me get some water. We want to do that too. We want to be a resource when someone is having an emergency that we can step in and assist. And what we want to be able to do that too, but more importantly, that should be one-off. We want to be building systems that's empowering people to take those steps. We want to be making sure that those programs are available to them, that through relationship with the community. Just drop your question in the chat for me, unknown. And then that'll, you know, and because that's what I look back on. That's one of my biggest regrets, is that, like, oh man, we really could have been doing some very simple things and even some larger things that could have been life-changing for people. But that does start with, how do we help? And that's one of the things that I try to get people really focused on with doing anything with Bridge City Global. I know everybody has all of these missions that are really, really important to them, and there's going to be place for that. But to really help Bridge City Global grow from a mission point of view, like, you really got to be people-centric. The question is, it has to be, how can we help? It cannot be a statement of, oh, I know how to help. It has to be a genuine question. How can we help, right? Thank you, Mistress Monica. I just want to take a moment to shout out my sister, Chef at Shelley Marie, for joining the Sunday sessions today. We letting Darante cook today. All right, that's what I'm talking about. I love that. That is freaking awesome, man. Oh my goodness. Listen, y'all. By the way, if you're not tapped in with Bridge City Global, do that. It's in the description. It is in the description. Thank you so much for that offering, for that gift. That means so much to us, because it really does empower us to continue doing this. This has been a beautiful journey of building this community. We are building one of the fastest growing growth curves in the secular humanist space right now, and I want us to be able to continue to do that. Oh man. All right. So Unknown says, thanks, boss. First of all, I'm a huge fan and I respect your knowledge. I do want to learn what you've learned. Where do I start? Religious studies, any literature? Whew. Okay. So I'm somewhat of an anomaly, right? So I'd say a good place to start is just Black media. Start there. You're going to get a lot of me from Black media, period. Anything with James Earl Jones, Samuel L. Jackson, Dave Chappelle. No, I'm just playing. But no, for real. Like, literally, the work of people like Queen Latifah was very impactful on my life. There was a movie called The Vernon John Story that James Earl Jones played, the pastor of the church that Martin Luther King actually pastored. He was the pastor before Dr. King. And man, great story. But as far as the knowledge base, so my knowledge base comes from a few places. It comes from lived experience. So you have someone who was in ministry for over 2 decades. That's going to be the hardest part to duplicate. And then just to kind of, to even put a caveat on that, that's also with specific segments of church, right? Which is one of the things I'm always amazed at, is how many times people watch my content and say, like people who are Catholics or Presbyterian or Lutheran, and they watch my content and they say, you are describing me. And I'm like, how? I am fascinated, because, I got saved in a holiness church, Pentecostal Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ type of situation. Then I switched over into more of the word of faith type of movement. I was actually under Creflo Dollar for a while. I know. And then there was, and that was indirectly because I was at Tony and Cynthia Brazelton's church in Maryland. I think it was Accokeek, Maryland. And they were under Creflo, but that's where I first met Jesse Duplantis and all that good stuff. But so I was definitely more so in the charismatic circles. I was in that Bishop Long circle, Apostle Ron Carpenter. And I've always known that there's some large differences between the denominational cultures that I was associated with and the vast majority of evangelical Christianity even. So it was just I'm always surprised when someone who comes from those other backgrounds and they're like, oh man, you're telling my story, right? So even though it can be relatable, keep in mind that my decades of experience are in more of the Pentecostal urban mega church type of arena. So a lot of that is coming from that. But then the other part is also just my own personal curiosity, right? Like I just take rabbit trails. I tell people start with a question. Don't start with a resource. Don't start with a book, because when you do that, you're starting with an authority, right? And I wouldn't start with an authority. If you start with an authority, you don't even know what answers you're looking for, and so you're not gonna be in a position to even cipher through the information to know what is good information and bad information. And I typically approach all information as I'm a skeptic. I don't know this person writing this book. I don't care how many letters they got behind their name. You know what I'm saying? So I'd start with the question, and the question is what'll lead you to the resources. And so you say, like, you start with, what do you want to learn? What is it about religious studies that you want to learn? Because religious studies is big. And so find those specific questions you want to, that you're interested in, and let your curiosity build the curriculum, right? Start with your questions, follow those questions, go down those rabbit holes, and use the scientific method along the way. Test this stuff, do some comparisons. Man. And okay, so that's curiosity. Now, my specific subset of knowledge is sociology. So that's read anything about sociologists. You can start with Emil Durkheim if you're more so interested in the religious aspect. Start with Emil Durkheim, a great book. It's a big one, but it's a great book. The elementary forms of religion. I hope I'm saying it right. But if you type in Emil Durkheim, like, he's the father of sociology, you're gonna find what you need. Even some Max Weber stuff. There was a time in history right before the Enlightenment period, and right through it, where there were quite a few people writing about a lot of these things that sociology was finding its legs. So I'd say sociology, religious studies. That's a hard one. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's a hard one. I almost don't trust anybody who's talking about religion, right? Because there's just so many factors in almost all religions, but I'll stay in the room that I know, Christianity. There's so many factors of missing information, incomplete lines of secession between information, shit just popping up out of nowhere, multiple people claiming to have multiple bodies, that anybody pretending to have certainty in any aspect of Christianity or even Old Testament, I don't like to say Old Testament Judaism because the Old Testament is not necessarily a Judaic book. So it's more Hebraicism. But like, there's so much missing, so much gone, so much that has been intentionally, gotten rid of or manipulated, that anybody proclaiming to have any sense of certainty on any of these things, it just seems to me they're playing the same game that theologians are playing. And so it's a little harder for me to recommend religious studies. And that's why I say just start with the question and start looking for the answer. And you're not looking for others to answer it for you. You're looking for an answer that you can comprehend. You're looking for an answer that you can understand. You're looking for, okay, now why does that answer make sense? And if their explanation doesn't actually inform you, then oh, I actually don't have enough information to know if this makes sense or not. And that's a code that I live by. I don't give myself permission to know anything that I haven't tried to know. So like if someone says something to me and I don't recognize what they're saying, and you've been through that, I'm sure all of you have been through that before. I don't recognize what they're saying. I know, I don't know enough to understand what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? That's not an arena that I've given myself that knowledge. And then I take the next step and say, is that an arena that I want to start filling myself with knowledge in? Because that's the only way I'm going to be able to understand it. You can say it to me as many times as you want to, but I'm not going to be able to understand it. So sociology is a good place. Religious stuff, I don't trust religious literature. I don't trust it even from some secular people who do it. Like, I love a lot of people in this space. So I'm not going to call anybody's name, but there's a certain person I'm like, it's obvious that you're biased on this because it's career stuff like this. And just because historically in the West, we have allowed religious theology and religious documents to stand on their own. And we've just trusted it. We've never treated it like a true space of academia, even though they have the institutions that mimic it. And even some of those institutions, are a part of secular society and do well, but by far and large, they still treat corrupt Christianity as legitimate history, even like what we know. And so they'll be like, well, Paul or Peter said this, and I'm like, wait a minute. We know that the way this stuff evolved and developed, that a lot of things were lie. Like, I mean, we even have some of the early church fathers admitting to lying, So we know a lot of things that are there. There's a lot of stuff in this that is just not true. We know a lot of this stuff is hagiography until we go back, now that we know just how much of this stuff was messed up, now that we know there are no eyewitness accounts from the story of Jesus at all, and any type of testimonies come years, decades later, why are we treating any of this as if it's already been established as truth? The only reason we're doing that is because for so long society was led by it, which of course them coming to power in Western Rome led to the crumbling of the Western Roman Empire. And then out of the Dark Ages, because they went into the Dark Ages, things were so damn bad and so many records were crumbled that the church was able to wipe its hands of the destruction that it caused and pretend that it was the savior of Europe, even though we know how Europe got its swag back. So I don't even know why I went there. But so for modern theologians or even secular modern critiques of biblical academia, for them to not go back to the beginning and to say, is there any reason to believe any of this is true in the first place, is highly irresponsible for me. Because now we're like, no, we know we found out a whole bunch of people lied, but we can't rule it out that it never happened. Well, our goal is not to rule it out. Our goal is to rule it in. The problem is it's not been ruled in yet. It hasn't been ruled in yet. You know, it's like innocent until proven guilty. It's bullshit until proven not. You know, and that's like, so that's why religious studies are a little hard. Now, I'm not saying don't read religious literature. Read it all, but read nothing to be your source, right? And so that's why I said a good place to start is making sure you start with the questions that you're interested in, and that'll get you where you want to go. I hope that helps. Never claim anything as truth, but rather my truth. Absolutely. Like I only know so much, and everything I know is definitely crafted by my lived experience, and my lived experience is limited at best. No matter how confident I feel or how competent I feel, I live with the humbling awareness that I'm just a blind man touching the elephant. That life is a big ass elephant, and I've been touching my side of the elephant long enough. Like I've gotten really freaky and familiar with that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I'm touching all over that elephant, but I'm still blind. Like my view, like, I mean, hell, look at these glasses. My view is worse than everybody else's view. So I can only be so confident. Excuse me. Even the things that I'm 100% confident in, or like I feel like I can be 100% confident in, I know that I can only take that confidence so far because in my view, I'm just a blind man touching an elephant. So what increases my experience with the world is hollering across that big ass elephant and say, hey, you other blind person, what is it feeling like for you? What is it touching? You know, what is it touching for you? And you may describe something. I said, that don't feel like nothing I'm touching. And then I got to remember, but this is a big ass elephant. So this elephant may not feel like what I'm feeling everywhere. Are y'all, is that making sense? If it's good, can I get a hell yeah? Throw a hell yeah in the chat. Throw a ashe in the chat. If you're still a believer, we'll take amen. I'm just going to pretend like you're talking about the Egyptian source. I'll take it. The ancient Kemetic thing. You know what I'm talking about. You know, like I identify because I'm bald. Hell yeah. I don't know if that was an accident or not, but I love it. Because I'm bald, I went through my little mystic phase. Because I'm bald, I always identified with the Egyptian god Ptah. You know, just architect par excellence. You know, and that's I definitely identify with the architect. And you know, let me get my woo out a little bit. Let me get my woo out. You know, like I've never been into, what is it, astrology? I hope that's the right one. Yeah, the L is the kooky one. I've never been into astrology, but I definitely identify with the bull character as a Taurus. It just feels good for me. It just feels real. I don't know why. Like I feel like a bull. You meet me a while, you might think like, damn, he kind of a bull. So, and then Ptah had a thing with the apis bull. So you know how our pattern making brains go. Is that me? You know, especially when you have a propensity to bullshit. You see what I'm saying? Kale, yeah, and jalapenos. That actually, you know, I've never had kale yet. I've always wanted to try it, but I live in Alabama. It's not everywhere down here. You know, y'all have kale, we have ribs. Jalapeno. Okay. So anyway, but I do want to try some kale, and I think jalapenos would be the best thing to try some kale with. Man. So you knew I was an earth sign. That is hilarious. Oh man. and which is what I don't want to say. Oh, that's so funny. That is so funny. Oh. Oh, okay. So I missed the question. Let me go. Let me go up here. Let me go. Is as a Christian, how do I respond without being angry or mad based on the Bible in case I come debate an atheist and he's civil? Sorry if this is a stupid question. It's not a stupid question. Well, it's not a stupid question because I'm going to assume you're newer, so you probably don't know me as well. But so I'm typically anti-debate when it comes to religion. Number one, because the believer is trained in the art of apologetics, defense, but not the art of evidence. So, and ultimately, it's rhetoric. If I was in the Nation of Islam, I'd call it tricknology, right? I'm just going to use some words. I'm not going to demonstrate that anything I'm saying is true. I'm not going to point to anything concrete that can support it. I'm just going to talk, about why I believe it or why other people who I believe are authorities believe it, which at that moment, it's not a real debate. I actually encourage atheists to stop debating with believers. It's disrespectful to academia. This is what is leading to brain rot. People do not know how to tell the difference between a conversation, a meaningful conversation, and a useless ass competition. And most of what debate has become is a fucking circus. It doesn't exist to actually educate. It doesn't exist to actually bring us any closer to the truth. It just exists to pit one team against the other. And I find that shit to be unproductive. Now, I will say I do not go out and attack people who do debates. Some of my friends do debates. You've seen me on the line regularly. But I personally find debates to be the least productive thing to do. And as a person who takes critical thinking and academia, especially classical education, very, very seriously, I find debating with people who believe in things that cannot be substantiated completely disrespectful to the art and the sport of debate itself. There is nothing that debating as an atheist, there's nothing that debating a Christian would do, even if they won in some objective sense. Even if they won, there was nothing that out of that debate would happen other than people changing their mind. It would not change one thing about the world, because if God's existence was measurable, it would already be measured. And anything that is not actually measurable right now has no real impact on society at large. And that, my friends, is a waste of a debate. Why would I debate somebody that doesn't matter which one of us wins? Like, if I win, it changes nothing about the world. If the only thing that happens after that debate is you walk away and like, damn, I really do believe bullshit, I would not feel good about you as a human being. Like, no, it shouldn't have taken somebody else to convince you. And 9 times out of 10, it's not going to stick, because it's just not how people change their minds. Most people who change their minds at a debate do so because they're already on the fence. But everybody else who shows up the same way most people shows up to political rallies. They're already on their side. And these debates are starting to look way too much like political debates than anything that's actually academic. There is no expectation that we're going to leave this place with something that moves humanity forward. It's just like we're gonna talk back and forth over each other using entirely different tools of measurement and measurements and entirely different standards of how to know, which means we're not even doing this to help the other person in the conversation. We're both doing this to dehumanize the other person. And I don't understand why we keep creating room to do that type of bullshit. So no, if we in good faith would not debate somebody who believes that Superman is real, if we would not in good faith debate somebody who believes that tricks are indeed for kids and that silly rabbit needs to be dealt with, if we would not seriously debate anyone who believes in the existence of Santa Claus, then we should treat believers in any religion that has no substantiation with the same disdain when it comes to the arena of academics, when it comes to the sports of academics, when it comes to the conversation of debate. It should not be allowed unless there's evidence for it. If I'm ever going to debate with a new Christian, and then here's the other problem about Christian debate. Why did y'all get me on this subject? Here's the other problem. It's not a real debate. What are we debating? You know, you want me to tell you the way you know it's not a real debate? Because here it is, it's two people, and we're going to debate how the universe got here, and not now one of these people is a cosmologist or an astrophysicist. What the fuck kind of conversation is this? No, these are the types of things that are killing our society. So I'd like, no. Number one, we just should not have this goal of going out there trying to change other people's mind. Like, no, if we're going to debate about something, we need to be debating about something that we can actually put on the table. Because honestly, I'm not a fan of debate, period. I prefer dialectics. I want us to get back to the conversation of dialectics, where you may have a different view and I may have a different view. But in the conversation, we're getting closer to a better view for both of us. A great book to read to see dialectics in practice is The Republic. Okay, because that whole book is dialectics. I remember when I first read it, I'm not going to say it changed my life. It just made me so liberating, because I was like, oh, finally people who talk like me, finally people who have conversations the way that I want to have conversations. Who, you know what I'm saying? So it was beautiful, but that's a good way to go. All right, let me see if I missed anything. All right. But yeah, no, I know, like, yeah, that's a hard one. And I am not of the majority opinion there. So my opinion, I recognize my opinion is the minority one in there. But like, and I'm not suggesting that debates should be like killed or anything. Like, let's stop doing debates altogether. I'm not going to do them. That's for me. Or one of their videos claiming that you know, macro evolution exists. Yeah, it gets really bad. It gets really bad. And it just ends up not being helpful. Because I'm a proponent of people's right to, you know, to believe whatever they want to believe, I'd advise religious people to start like separating themselves from apologists, you know, because that's what's bringing more attention to the flaws of your faith. Like, by far and large, most churches are not apologetic. By far and large. Most churches are evangelistic, not to be confused with evangelical, which there are quite a few of those. But most churches are evangelistic. You know, they're not very theological. They're not very apologetic. They're not preaching about the genuineness of Jesus every Sunday. They're not preaching about the sanctity of the Trinity. They're not preaching about this 6,000-year-old earth. You know. It's the apologists that are doing that bullshit. And the Christians have to back it. The churches have to back it up because it's the same belief. Now, what outsiders or people who've never been a leader in the church may not understand is that churches are not connected to theological institutions. Doesn't work that way. And so most pastors outside of a few denominations like AME, I think Presbyterian, they may be. The more, I'm probably gonna get this word wrong because I haven't said it in a while. Is it ecclesiastical churches? Yeah, the more ecclesiastical churches where the denomination owns the building. So you see that with like the United Methodists and stuff, or pretty much any of the Methodists, the Presbyterians, the denomination owns the building. Now, some of those institutions will have a theological institution that is more involved. But when you're dealing with your Baptists, when you're dealing with your Pentecostals, when you're dealing with all of your non-denominationals, in most cases, this is just some random person who one day believed the story a little bit more than everybody else and may or may not have gone through any academic institution at all. In fact, it is very common among mega churches for where many of those pastors who have doctors in their names and credentials on the back of their name got all of them from a diploma mill. You know, so this is very, very, very common. All right, so I know I went through a lot. I hope that was helpful. I hope that was helpful. Wow, that is beautiful. Which one is the best conversion process? Doing it in isolation or sharing your opinion with others? That's a great question. Okay, which one is the best conversion process? Doing it in isolation or sharing your opinion with others? Here's I think there's a few variables that have to be considered for this. See, y'all ain't even let me get in my notes today, and I was excited about talking about this stuff. But there's a few variables that I think need to be considered. Number one, your personality type. When you just think of any time you've ever went through a hard time with anything else, Did you prefer going through that by yourself? Did you just want to be left alone and just kind of sit in a closet and listen to, old Scooby-Doo music? I don't know why I said Scooby-Doo music, but you get it. Or are you the type of person who really needs to be checked on, or who really needs to be able to see what, like sometimes me, I just need to see the faces that people make when I say something. You know what I'm saying? Like I need to see how people are responding. And so one is going to be your personal preference, right? Like, what do you need? Some people like to be left alone when they're going through a difficult time so they can recalibrate. Sometimes they do that just to make sure that they don't hurt anybody else and just to make sure they're sure about what they want to do. But then other people, they really need to be able to bounce their feelings off of other people, their thoughts off of other people. And it's almost like a safety net. I just want to feel safe. I just want to, because, I'm not certain. And that's the thing, like nobody goes into, I don't want to say nobody, that's hyperbole, but it sounds better that way. Nobody goes into deconstruction knowing that they're going to deconstruct, so if you actually care about your religious background and your faith, you want to make sure, like, I'm doing it right. And so that type of person may be like, yeah, I really need to be around other people. So I make sure that I'm not just tripping right now. So that's going to be on you. But another one is another variable is, does that system exist? Does the possibility exist? Does the environment exist for you to share your process with others while you stay safe, right? So for some people that exists, and two type of people I would say that exist for. Number one, the person who actually has just a super duper loving family. And I've heard some of that from some people, and that's great. Some people got 99 problems, but family ain't one. So they got a super duper supportive family who either are non-believers themselves or are believers, but still say, no, you're my family member. So we're just going to still treat you like family. And we'll talk about these conversations like we talk about anything else, So you got that one. And then you got the other people who are kind of like me, who just don't give a damn about what anybody else is going to say or not. And so there's less backlash, even if there is backlash. So it's like, hey, y'all, I don't believe in God anymore. What do y'all think? But what the fuck you think? You don't believe in God anymore? Oh, so I see you just became a jackass for no reason. Thank you for letting me know. That's kind of me right there. But so do you have the environment where you can share with others? And if you don't, you need to get connected to Bridge City, because we're making that's one of the reasons we're creating this environment. And some about that was going to be in my notes today too. So I still may go through a little bit of my notes if y'all don't mind hanging around a little longer. And it's not like scripted notes. It's just like little things I got jotted down that I wanted to share with y'all about. Man. Good news. Yeah, just lift each other up. And that's really, man, that's really what I wanted Discord to be, right? I don't think I've been shy about it, but I do want to make clear, like, I've been very disappointed in our progress with Discord, which I've pretty much moved away from Discord ever since February. I've been giving it a few chances, looking for people who could take that lead into making it something that's really community centric, and that's really one of those small things I just wanted to see. Was people trying to find ways to encourage and uplift each other. But there are just so many people who are dealing with their own triggers. There are so many people who, really ended up coming into the place to police others, to debate others, to tell others what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. And I began to wonder for a while, like, is that just the culture of Discord, right? Which I am happy about what we're getting ready to launch. We already have it, and so we should be rolling it out this week. But I think that's one of the reasons that space is going to exist. I've added some new people to my team with the ODD World Group, Discover, Learn, Develop, Do, that I think are going to help us be able to do more stuff like that. But yet, what I would love to see, for those of you who are watching, if you're currently in the Discord, I would love to see that. That would, just seeing people doing that. We had someone in the Discord one time that was really doing a good job with that, but he had some personal issues that didn't allow him to kind of stay connected. But I've said plenty of times, like, I think I've told my team, like, while he was there, he did an excellent job of just like keeping it positive, keeping it set on Bridge City. But everybody else just kind of has these micro roles that they're trying to do, micro purpose, micro missions, microaggressions. And Discord just kind of attracted that, or it attracted this personality paralysis thing where everybody wants my time, and I'm like, I did not sign up to be your fan, man. Like, or to be the friend that you can call anytime. That's not what this is. And like, if you need to talk to me before you do anything here, then you're already telling me that you're not a proactive person. Oh man, did we just go there? Jalapeno, I think we did. Like the people, like the people that I do best with are the people who don't try to hold my time hostage to helping me. I'll help, but I gotta get some more time with you. No, then this isn't about really helping the community. This is about, you know, you fanboying or fangirling, and that's just not me. That's not who I am. I prefer, like, number one, I just want to give y'all a little insight into me. And actually, I've shared this before. And I think when I share this with people, they think I'm being mean or they think I'm being funny. But I'm like, go buy my first book. My first book was published in 2014, which is long before I've met anybody. So if you go read that book, you'll realize, oh, it really isn't personal. Darante does not answer his phone. I don't answer my phone for my mother. You understand that? I do not answer my phone. That was one of the vows I made to myself in 2014, was that I would never again allow people to hold my time hostage, because by doing so, I had sacrificed so much of my own life. I've published 5 books since then. That's the power of getting your time back, you know? So I do want to, like, remind people, like, if y'all hear me saying, like, hey, I don't have time for this, like, that's not a flex. That's never a flex. Nor is it me asking for sympathy. It's me asking for awareness and respect, right? People who lose my attention real quick is people who no matter how many times they hear me say I'm busy, I'm stretched thin, I'm doing a lot, they still try to pencil themselves on my schedule. And it's like, I don't need anybody in my life trying to treat themselves like they're the special exception. I have a whole wife and 4 kids that come before you, and they don't even get my time the way they deserve. And I'm literally telling people that, and they're showing up demanding my time anyway. And I'm like, it's obvious that you either do not have kids or you just don't give a fuck about other people if they're not available for you. And I absolutely reject those type of personality types. If you can't respect the fact that I said no, that I'm not available right now. I have people that have been trying to beg me to get on their shows, and I've told them over and over again, it's not personal. I'm not being funny with you. I am stretched thin, okay? I am stretched thin. Everybody sees this and thinks this is glory. No, this is grind, okay? Okay? Oh my goodness. Who always feel guilty for no reason. That guilt, man, that guilt will get in there and eat us up. Oh, you stupid infidel. Oh man. People can get the base usage of it mixed up. Absolutely. Absolutely. We may find a way to work through it. We just brought on a head of community for the LDD World Group who's going to be helping us with some of that stuff. So I think that'll make a difference. And so anybody who signs up to help with anything, the one thing that I want you to know for sure is that there's no guarantee that you're going to see me. Like, no, like, please don't think that. And then if I get the vibe that that's how you're coming, I'm going to treat it like a red flag. I'm going to treat it like the red flag that it is. Infidel. And so don't do that. Don't do that. What you really want to do, like, if you were in the middle of building a house, you know, and you felt like this house was going to change lives, was going to provide for a lot of people, and you know that the people who need this house, they don't need it tomorrow. They needed it 15 years ago, which means you're already behind. How productive would it be to stop building every time a person shows up who claims to be interested in building, but wants to talk before they start helping? The people I like for the work that we're doing, I need people who show up, look at the room and say, damn, that's a lot of work. He's not going to have any time to think. Let me pick up a fucking hammer. All right, is this good? Can I get a hell yeah? Can I get a ashe? Can I get a amen? Can I get a namaste? Can I get a Hamnio Regain Kill, even though I don't know what it means? You know. But all right, so damn, this is good. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. I love the questions. I love the questions. This has been beautiful. We don't get to do this a lot. So when we do get to do this, it always feels good. It always feels good, you know. No, y'all are some beautiful people, man. And I hope these conversations are really bringing some inspiration, some insight, some help. When I'm live, man, I go through from that celebrancy mode where I want you to feel good as a human being, to that coaching mode where I want you to shit or get off the pot. You know, either way, I want to be a help in your life. You know, and we don't all have to take that coach mentality. I go coach mode, you know, and I do it with everybody. But we don't all have to take that coach mentality. Some of us can be cheerleaders. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let me jump into some of my notes, and I'll still be watching for some other questions. And again, this isn't a script. I'm not about to preach here. I want to share some things. Obviously, this week I went to Mississippi State University. We just got back Friday. I'm thinking my days have been weird this week, y'all. Like again, when I say I'm tired, it's not me flexing. That's me begging for help. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do I got to do? Do I got to open up an OnlyFans to get some more help out here? Like, you know, maybe Only Voices. I don't know. Like, I think my voice is sexier than my body. That's probably where the ticket is. That's the moneymaker. But anyway, went to MSU and it was dope. Like, just from beginning to end. Just off topic. There's a place in Birmingham that I absolutely love to eat at. When I was working at my former mentor's church there, The Rock in Birmingham, we used to go to this place almost every day called Yo Mama's. Oh, and back then it was just a little small startup spot. They don't upgrade it now. They bougie and everything. They don't give you the bottle of hot sauce no more though. I was a little disappointed by that. And they don't give you the fountain drink so you can get your refills. I was like, damn. So I got to just drink this one cup and then go buy another one. But other than that, man, like they have shrimp and grits, Louisiana style, which is basically it's like gumbo. It's shrimp gumbo. It's amazing. Fried fish, fries. They make this incredible waffle sauce. See, y'all don't get me talking about the food, which I have thought about doing like a food channel. I have, because I love to cook and I love to eat. And if I might talk to my brother about that one. He's not my biological brother, but he's somebody I call brother, even though that motherfucker ain't never around. Plays the keys and everything. He should be coming to California with me. But anyway, oh damn, California shit. All right. So anyway, I'm gonna talk about California in a minute. So MSU, wonderful experience. Everybody hungry now, right? Wonderful experience. We will be sharing some clips and photos from that. The hotel was really dope, man. Had some wonderful conversations before and after the event. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. It was good too. All of my kids loved it. It was good. We had a wonderful conversation. I did Confessions of an Ex-Pastor. I gave them 9 confessions just as a way of walking them through my life and what led me into that. And then I took some Q&A afterwards, which just felt really good. I mean, the whole night felt really good. We brought our stuff and set up. And then Bob Swanson, who y'all saw in here earlier, he had his stuff set up as well. And so we had some problem. Definitely, or had some good times. Definitely realized how little people know about history. In a room full of college students and professors, no one knew who Hubert Henry Harrison was. These are my confessions. Just when I thought I could say all I could. I don't know the lyrics no more. Sitting at a one on the way. See, now you done got me. See, that's why you cannot be in the chat infidel. You're always taking somebody back to the early 2000s or the late 90s. Oh man, good old days. Good old days. Boy, if I looked back then the way that I look now, I probably would have never got saved. Man, yeah, like it's wild. It was very surprising. Nobody knew who Hubert Henry Harrison was. Which actually I'll say the Hubert Henry Harrison, that one was kind of expected. But it was pearl clutchingly surprising when I realized they didn't know who Carter G. Woodson was. And again, these are students and professors. And like, I think maybe 2 hands went up for Carter G. Woodson. And I'm like, okay, I got to be the black guy for a minute. There's some black people there too. Not 1 hand. Oh, bruh, I wanted to go full like black card mode for a moment. Like, hey, young bucks. Now this is unacceptable. This is intolerable. This is intolerable. Actually, I'm gonna have to go full Barack mode there. Young bucks. It's important that you know your history. It's important that you know where you come from because it's not their responsibility to know it for you. As a matter of fact, I've met them. I've talked to them. They're not that smart. You know, you just are like, what? Y'all don't know who Carter G. Woodson is? Like, you're here because of Carter G. Woodson. And you don't like, so I was shocked. Not in a judgmental way, but definitely in a pearl clutching way. Like, what the? Let me go get my little bag and get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, like what? So that was, you know. Oh man, thank y'all. But that is part of why I started DLDD World Group. And Bridge City exists as one of our most important programs, is to help people find those avenues of education and things that really, really matter to them. So now prepping for California. Now, surprisingly, and I think me and Robert talked about this last Sunday on this channel. Surprisingly, we're gonna have music. Like we had talked about it before, and like everybody like, Darante, you might be doing too much. And I was like, okay, let me explain it this way, y'all. If it's possible for us to have music, I like for us to do so, And at first, I feel like they kind of house hunted me. When you house hunted people, you're like, you know what, this motherfucker can't afford this. Let's go ahead and show him the most expensive thing we can find so we can get his expectations set with his budget, because you know what my budget is? Not a damn thing. We ain't got it like that. We got a lot of people who emotionally support what we do. We have that in spades. A lot of people are struggling financially. You know what I'm saying? And we're new. And people are still tied up, supporting other organizations that are doing great work. We're new. They're waiting for us to prove ourselves and all that jazz, which I don't know, growing something from 52 people to 62,000 in about a good year, and then actually having a campus getting ready to launch off in Southern California. LA and San Diego having over damn near 200 people tapped in to lead, host, or attend a Bridge City in their location, having people in Africa, in Australia, having people all over the world who are saying, I want this in my area, but I guess young, gifted, and black. You know what I'm saying? All right, so, but out of all of that, damn, that went good. Out of all of that, like we ended up, I said, I'll tell you what, let's just see who in our community, because that's really where it comes from. That's really what I'm always thinking. Let's just ask. And surprisingly, man, we got bass player, drummer, sounds like an acoustic guitar player. I'm gonna play keys. Now we're getting some people who are starting to who's gonna sing. So we're gonna have some music. So one of my prepping for California is getting our music list together, which I can actually tell you all the music list. I was gonna, which we're gonna be doing this on Friday. So for those of y'all that are in Marina Del Rey, I hope I'm saying that right. I think I've been calling it Venice. It's that area. But LA, basically. For those of you who are coming hanging out with us in LA on Friday night, we're gonna be doing some music. We're gonna have some fun. There's this Christian song called Goodbye Yesterday that I've rewritten, and I've sang it on a live before, and it went really good. So we're gonna do that. But then we're gonna let me just look at my tab so I don't have to scroll. We're gonna go over into a little bit of Lizzo's special. Has anybody told you today that you're special? But it'll be a little bit more hard than that. I'm just singing it low because I'm not about to yell right now, And then after that, we'll go into a little bit of pretty, pretty, please. Don't you ever feel that you're perfect? It's whatever. And then after that, we're gonna go into, okay, there was a song by Babyface years ago. And I'm gonna, and number one, we're not doing all these songs. We're not like doing verse by verse. It's like mashup type stuff. It's gonna be really cool. And again, y'all are learning before the singers and the musicians have even got the list. This just slipped up to be like this. But there was this song, Nobody Knows It But Me, by Babyface. It was like, you know, my name's they stop thinking about days when we had inside. And nobody knows it but me. You know, that's a really beautiful song. It's melancholy, very sad. So I'm going to rewrite those lyrics, and we're going to have some fun with that. And again, we won't be doing the whole damn song. It's just like hitting it, quitting it, tapping it a little bit on the back end just to make it smile a little bit, and then moving on to the next. All right. And so then after that one, that's the setup. That's the setup for this song by Anthony Hamilton. And I cannot remember the guy named who actually does the song. Anthony's just featured on there, but it's I've been alone a lot. Yeah, I've been alone a lot lately. Ever been so close to quitting, almost throwing in the towel. You're the only one that's healing me now, 'cause you came around at a good time when I was breaking down. You've been alone a lot lately. I've been alone a lot lately. And so I love that one. I love that one because it's just, we're just gonna have fun with it and just really encourage each other and just really just kind of relish in the Babyface produced it. Oh, okay. But just really relish in the moment of being together as a community from a sociological perspective, giving ourselves what some people, you know, call that spiritual moment, which I do have a video coming up on secular spirituality, so be looking out for that one. But it just gives us that moment of being together, and there's great joy and strength in that, and that how we're existing as an encouragement for another. And then for some reason, like, and this is coming back from my old days. I used to do songs like, and I love mashups. I love hearing melodies in other songs. And so coming out of I've been alone a lot lately, it has like, I don't know, I'm doing the guitar. I don't play the guitar. If you looked at my hands, you can probably tell I don't know what he's doing, but he is molesting that guitar. He is not playing anything, you know, because I can't. But keys is what I play, and not very well. But you know, I've been alone, and then we're gonna do this. Boom, shoulda doop da doom, shoulda doop da doop da dum, shoulda doop doop da. Who knows what that is? Who is that? Who is that? We're going right into that, but we won't be going into the song. Like, I may write something a little small for them to go into, but after that, there's this another Christian song that it is, Velvet. There it is. That's that Always Be My Baby. And I don't know, maybe we're going to change it to Always Be Related or something like that, but we're going to have fun with it. And that's going to bridge us into the last song of the night, which is another Christian song that I'm just kind of reclaiming the lyrics for a positive moment. And it will be called Status, which I really love. It's a really nice, positive melody. I don't even have to change the words too much. It's just like, my status is changing. There's no more decline. I'm on my way to better days. It's a real simple song. Status is changing. There's no more decline. I'm on my way to better days. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I'm on my way to better days. You know, so just having fun with that, encouraging everybody as we close out the night and get ready to eat, because that's what we'll be doing there. So I feel like I just did a whole advertisement for that Friday night, but that's literally how, that's what that song list is looking like. Thank you for the compliment on the voice. I love it. So, and then after that, man, let's see here. Of course, me in preparation, I got to finalize my notes for that Sunday, or actually for the team session, because the team session comes before the music thing. Finalize my notes for them. Me and Robert will be doing some stuff there, as well as Ashley. I got to finalize my notes and my props for the Rise events, because I will be using props for this one, which just between you and I'm using props as a way to help me not need notes while I'm doing this demonstration. Which is real cool. It's a pastor's secret. You know, I actually loved using props when I was a pastor. Like, I got to find these old videos, but I did some wild stuff. I did. I also got to think through follow-up value for Rise. So like, Rise is going to be an incredible experience, and I got to see, like, man, what else can we get people connected to after Rise? And then now, and like, this is legit, I'm not doing this like to get people like in a tizzy, but I just realized something this week that might actually interfere with my ability to get to California. I just happen to be a part of a state that did not participate in the real ID situation. And so now we have our own version of an ID called the Star ID. And I got to go, I have to try to change my license to a Star ID, or I might have a problem getting on a plane. So if I was still a believer, I'd say that's the devil trying to keep me from getting to California. But because I'm not a believer, I can just say this is the cost of me not having an assistant. That's what this is. I need an assistant ASAP. And this is also the cost of me living in Alabama. I've literally, I think I've been talking to people about it more and more. Like, I got to get out of Alabama. It's killing me. But yeah, so that's going to be, so and I'll say that to say this week I'm going to be extra stressful then. So you already know that, like, because now I got to find a way to get as much stuff as I need to get this done and make sure I can be in California on time. So that's and that, like, literally it was just while putting these notes together where I realized that. I was like, oh snap. Because I was trying to go back and say, okay, what day am I leaving out? And then I was like, okay, going through my checklist of what do I need? And I saw the little notification about, oh, you got to have a real ID. And I was like, what? So yeah, that's scary times. But if everything goes well, I'll arrive there Thursday, meet with the team, see the venue, and likely spend some time with the musicians and singers. Friday is the official kickoff of Liftoff Weekend, and I'll be spending time with our local Bridge City members there, concerning what it looks like becoming a community and actually moving towards lunch. Oh yeah, come to Vegas. Yeah, if we can get some folk in Vegas, I'll be there. I've never been to Vegas in my life. I've wanted to go to Vegas. I think Vegas already has event centers, so we can just get us a small little conference room at one of the casinos, one of the hotel casinos, so that where there's already a place for me to stay, there's a place for us to meet, and there's some space for us to play. Like, Vegas sounds like a perfect place for Bridge City, now that I think about it. Bridge City, DLDD World Group, the whole shebang. I think I like Vegas. I think I like it. Now, let me stop. All right. And then Saturday and Sunday, we'll be doing our Rise events, which are going to really be cool, man. I'm really going to be walking people through how to reprogram, how to deprogram, and how to transform. And, it's going to be good. Like, I hope we can film it. So even if you're not able to make it, maybe we'll sell you a DVD. Who knows? Do y'all have DVD players? Do they do that anymore? I don't know. And then Sunday, we'll be kicking off a new Sunday session series called Liftoff. And I will be delivering that Sunday session series live from San Diego. And so that's going to be cool. It's going to be from the house of one of our Bridge City leaders in that area. So that's awesome. Who'd ask? And I live far from all the in-person groups. Yeah, I know how that is. I'm going to do my best. And I'm going to stop saying we are going to do our best to make sure that there are just more groups out there. And that's the thing. That's why we got to do it, because everybody lives far away. And so McDonald's don't wait for you to move to where they are. Dollar General doesn't wait for you to move to where they are. They come to where you are. As a matter of fact, that ended up becoming Dollar General's secret sauce from a business standpoint, is that, obviously y'all remember Walmart was crushing people. When Walmart started hitting up into that and going into super Walmart phase, businesses started dying left and right. Many businesses failed to keep up, and it wasn't just impacting mom and pop shops. It was impacting other, small box brands as well. Like, it's hard to find the big lots nowadays, So, what's the name? Walmart was like literally crushing competition left and right. And then Dollar General decided to do something that no one thought would be sustainable. And Dollar General said, well, look, we can't compete with Walmart where they were. I think the only dollar store that competes with Walmart where they are is Dollar Tree. And I'm almost positive they in bed together, because that just makes no sense. But Dollar General decided, okay, we're going to start targeting those smaller towns that Walmart can't get into. It's too big. So the population isn't sustainable for Walmart, but it's perfectly sustainable for a Dollar General. And so that then allowed Dollar General to expand into all of the places that Walmart couldn't expand into. And Walmart to this day has been trying to find a way to catch back up, because Dollar General, at least at the last time, was their only competition. That's how secular communities need to start thinking. Yes, we need to have events. Yes, we need to have big events that people can travel to. We need to have things to excite that are need to have things that are really exciting, that are really fun, that has some big names and all that stuff. We have things that have a high cost tag, sure. But if we really want to make a difference, we need to, and I'm just going to take this from the Christians, we need to be in the highways and the hedges. You know, we need to be everywhere that people are. You know, but I don't know, like, this is my first time I've given this critique. So many people in the secular community, as far as the organizations that exist, tend to operate like 80 years of history hasn't happened, like 80 years of advancement hasn't happened. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Why are y'all operating like state-funded organizations? You know, and when I say state-funded, it's like the moment I know an organization is state-funded, I already know I'm about to get crappy service. There's just no motivation to give me good service. There's no motivation. It's like, I know my experience is going to be like being at the DMV. I know my experience is going to be like being at a state hospital. I know my experience is going to be like being at a state-funded legal facility, that nobody's really going to treat me as a person, that nobody's really going to be looking for opportunities to bring value to me. It's just what you're doing is the most important thing in the world, and that's all that matters. And that's how a lot of a lot of what I've seen just kind of gets caught up there. And I'm like, you're not even trying to win people. You're not even trying to reach people. You're not even trying to help people for real. But that's just me. All right. Dang, I don't even know how I got there. But so what am I next? I think that's it. Yeah, so we'll be doing that series. In the midst of identifying people to carry the burden of organization and leadership in SoCal, we've been able to land on a new strategy for bringing, and y'all have heard me talking about it in my videos a lot lately, but we've landed on a new strategy to bringing our community together that we're really excited about. It's going to allow people to connect and engage in this vision and levels that make sense to them, and bring value to their lives and reciprocate value for the community, while allowing our members to live the vision in full, regardless where they are. So we're about to have like one app, one website, one place that you can go. And so like right now, you can go to Bridge City 101. You can tap in. You can go to our website. In the next week, you're just going to be able to go to our app wherever you are, and as soon as you're connected, you're going to be a part of the community and you'll be in spaces. Now, you got to give us some time to get this thing rolling, because what this survives on is not me. It survives on getting other people who are so passionate about this work that they're willing to volunteer at high capacity until we're in those next levels. Man, thank you so much for being here today. I cannot wait to see you next Sunday. So this is going to be incredible. I'm super excited about it. I think 3 things that having this global home is going to do for us, is going to give us. The first one is we'll have space for our members to grow and get involved. Like, again, from day one, we're trying to make sure we have some groups launched for you. If you're interested in being a part of different teams, you will have some space where you can learn more about those teams and build with other people. Of course, we'll start hosting the Sunday sessions in there, still attached to YouTube, but in there, so that for our members can actually interact with each other. And we'll start putting people in place to host sessions after the Sunday sessions that are just like group conversations between you and other members, so that our members can actually start getting connected. Yeah, I love it. Ozark Mountains. I love it. You know, so we can actually start getting these people, getting people connected. Another thing you're going to get is more structured weekly time with me and the team. So yes, even though you hear me talking quite a bit, like, I want us to resist personality paralysis, right? That does not mean I never want to meet with y'all. It does not mean I never want to work with y'all and be in the room with you. What it means is that we don't want to be in the place where more people are focused on me as a person and as a personality than they are understanding of what this mission and vision is. I need people plugged in, to start getting things done and making things happen. But no, I do honor our community, and I honor our membership, our growing membership, and definitely our leadership. So one of the small things is we'll start having quarterly, like state of the community meetings, which will all be hosted within our app. That'll only be for our members, but it'll be for all of our members. So you'll be able to spend about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours with me. Some other people on the team will actually talk about progress that we've made, some weaknesses that we have, look for some help in some areas or anything like that. And then also do like a town hall Q&A where anybody who's a part of the Bridge City community can talk to me. So you'll have more of those, and I'll go into a little bit more detail about that in a few, and then try to get us wrapped up. The next one, the third thing is going to give us, and this is something that I'm really excited about, and about getting us into, because we just got to get here, right? And that's, for me, is a framework to facilitate ongoing training, licensing, and certification in humanist and community practice. Now, these people are going to get the most of my time, and again, I'll talk about it in a little bit. Those people are going to see me at least weekly, in their groups. My people who are enrolling and learning how to kind of do what I do and do some of the things that we're planning on doing with Bridge City, whether it's leading local communities or just supporting others or facilitating events, which some of that you can see behind me right now. Like that's something I'm really excited about, something I'm really wanting to happen and to get in place, because I think that's where some life change is going to happen. I love how important connection is to people in this community. My dad once asked why we need to connect with people not in our immediate town city. It's encouraging to see people who do see a point. Absolutely. Yes. It's encouraging for me to also see people who do a point, who see that point, because I think the more we do, we create a healthier society. It's really getting people. Community is a really good tool, a really great catalyst to get people out of passive existence. Excuse me. Into active collaboration and active cooperation. And, whether you're talking about a team, group, a business, company, or a society itself, that's how you get it done, And so I love that. It's very encouraging. So once we give y'all access, I'm not going to give you the domain yet because I don't want y'all trying to sneak peek. But once we give y'all access, regardless of your financial situation, because this platform does cost us, like we're paying for this, right? So we will have some paid tiers, but let me explain. I almost want to turn my camera so you can see over there. But you're a member, whether you ever give a dime or not, you'll get access to a link. As a member, you will have access to almost everything everything on the platform. I think the only thing you won't have access to as just a regular member, and I hate saying it that way, is just courses that you don't need, right? But by far and large. But you'll have access to all of our groups, all of our teams. You'll have access to other members. You'll be able to connect with others from day one, to talk with others from day one. You don't lose any of that because you're not giving, right? Which I've always kind of talked to y'all about. That's kind of how our structure works. Everybody has access. But what I love about this platform is allowed us to structure in actual purpose behind the giving and utility, so that people who are subscribing at different levels know what they're getting in exchange. So while everybody's a members, and I gotta say this, one of the things that you can do as a member is host a group, which is a weekly or bi-weekly recurring meeting with people around a common interest. Now, for those of you who are watching this part and like, oh, I'd love to start a group, before you start it, make sure it's on the menu. And when I say make sure it's on the menu, make sure there's already other people within the community who share your affinity. That's what groups are perfect for. And I'm telling you that for your mental health, right? Find the people who share the affinity first, so you're not having to pull it on your own, and you don't go through that spot where you're feeling like you're pulling teeth, because then you're either going to give up or you're just going to get mad and be a jackass to people. And that's not what groups are for, right? But members can start groups, and so they can launch groups on the platform about things that they know there's some collective interest in, that they know other people want to see happen. And there are no limitations on what groups can be. We grown, so there can be some grown and sexy groups, I suppose. They just really need to be themed, targeted. Safety precautions need to be in place. And we do have the ability to put age restrictions on certain groups and stuff like that to protect our minors. So this sounds exciting. So members can do all of that. Hosts are people who say, I have something that I'm passionate about that I think people in our community would get value from, but I don't want to depend on affinity interest before I do it. And I really don't want to necessarily be micromanaged in how it has to be presented or stuff like that. But I do want help on how to enroll them. And so you can become a host, which means you will pay a small fee to access the platform monthly. You will also get access to training courses, which we will require you to go through before you actually host something on the platform. But training courses, a few training courses to teach you, number one, how to use the platform, but number two, how to successfully roll out your offerings. And because in this, I don't know, y'all are either going to get excited about this part or you're going to hate me. Either way, I don't care because I know where the motive is. But you're going to, in this one, you also get the opportunity to monetize what you're doing. Right. So we encourage, and this will be a part of your training, that that you do offer quite a few free events and activities when you're a host. But we do not discourage, and we absolutely encourage you offering paid workshops that go into more in depth right there on the platform, which gives you an opportunity to monetize the things that are that you're passionate about, as long as they bring value to the community. And that's really the main measurement there. Is this something that brings value to the community? And so for those people who are members and have things that are important to them, some people have like health things that they do, financial things that they do, special hobbies that they do, relaxing things, meditations, yoga, all types of special practices that they offer them services for. And here you will have access to our global community, and you'll find others who might benefit from those services. And so I'm going to ask you to tax yourself by offering some of your stuff free. That's what you're going to learn through the courses, to tax yourself by offering some of those services free, to introduce yourself to the community and let the community know that what you're trying to do brings value to them and helps them. And then start rolling out some deeper products and keep that balance from month to month, where they got some free stuff where you can get people introduced to the offerings you provide, and then some deep dive workshops or seminars or even services that you can provide them for, that you can monetize. So that creates something for you. And then just hitting membership as well. We also have the possibility of affiliate commissions for our community members. So I mean, you're a community member, and let's just say you just happen to do something where someone not only becomes a member, they join our app, but they decide to join one of the tier levels. You could get commission from that. We're still thinking that through, but that's because my focus is not just helping people feel better, it's helping people live better. And what I know is that we live in a world where if people look different, believe different, or live different, people try to economically sabotage them. And that's how you keep a community down. And so a major part of what we're doing is not just to create space, but to create ecosystems, to create systems that people can actually plug into and hopefully create some positive things in their lives. Which is going to bring me to these next two, because that's just really for hobbyists, people who are trying some things out, in the work or whatever culture they call that, like side hustle stuff, just things that you do that you're passionate about. You're not sure you want to turn into a career, but it's something that brings value to community. That does two things. It gives you a space to practice your craft and to figure out if it's something you really do. And it also creates more things to do for our whole community, which I think that is so important. And that's why I want to empower that. So then when people are joining our community and they're looking at their groups and they're seeing parenting talks, or they're seeing secular dating talks, or they're seeing financial welfare talks, and then they go into our hosted conversations, and they're seeing, more specific things like how to transform your finances, how to lose weight. Like y'all know, I lost 500. I was 580 pounds, and today I'm 280 pounds. Right, so that's 300 pounds. And damn, I look good. But it's stuff like that, stuff that's tangible, actionable, that can help people. So that's exciting. But this next level is builders, and then there's a level after that, captains. Start at builders though. You don't have to start at host to be a builder, but you do have to start at builder to be a captain. Because all of these, and you can kind of see that behind me right now. There's a word in this, like Bridge City is building an entire, 500 pounds, right? Bridge City is building an entire industry. We're building a professional career. We're building a new practice for people. We are replacing the religious profession with the humanist profession. Okay, we're replacing theocentric practitioners with humanist practitioners, and so even our host will be recognized within the broader Bridge City ecosystem as humanist practitioners, because that's what you're doing when your focus of providing this is to meet a human need. I want to bring value to other people. You are a humanist practitioner. Now that comes with no special, certifications or anything like that at that level. But the next one, which are people who are what we will call a licensed. Builders. It says it right there. You see the builders. It's backwards for you, but it's there. But for the people who are builders, they, once they get their certification, go through their courses, and that's what happens once you become a builder. Your view of the platform doesn't primarily change. You get access to more courses and an extra room, because the builders, anybody who is a builder or a captain who wants to, we're not forcing everybody to. The only thing you're required to do is, of course, pay your monthly subscription and finish your courses so you can be licensed to actually practice, right? But builders and hosts will see me weekly if they want to. On them, I'll be in the room weekly, doing some teaching, doing some collaborating, doing some workshops, some town halls, some Q&A, strictly about building and captain. It's like continuing education. I will also be doing one-on-ones with them. I will not be doing one-on-ones with everybody every week, but at least every week I'll be meeting with 3 in each category, and we'll rotate till we get through everybody. So for those, they will get much more access to me. See, I love that. KO, jalapeno. Jalapeno. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's those things, and like, especially going back to the host, it may start off with just virtual stuff, like, but eventually, because some of you are probably some incredible chefs, some incredible, like what's that thing, like packaging your foods right now? I forget what they call it, where people are prepackaging their foods. And you may not have the ability to have your own restaurant and stuff like that, but maybe you teach people how to do that. Maybe you open up a class, maybe you do a free group talking about the importance of nutrition and planning your nutrition, eating on purpose. That's a good one. Eating on purpose, like you can, and that's what you can have a free group on our group side, eating on purpose, that people can join for free, and then you can offer the facilitated activity of, here's how to make your own meal plan. That's the word that I was looking for. And it's something where you can make that available to people in the community and say, hey, pay $5, $10, $50. We'll walk you through how to price your stuff. That's not something we'll really micromanage too much. But if it's a valuable service, people are going to want it. I would want it. Here in this session, I'm going to give you, 25 ways to walk through or 25 is probably way too much. I'm going to give you 10 ways to meal prep, how to make it easy, how to do it where it's not, and it's like a workshop. I'll do it. And then you can have part 1, part 2, part 3. And after taking some people through it, you can say, hey, for some of you, maybe your life is just way too busy, and then you can end up, possibly saying, like, I can meal prep for you. I can do a consultation with you, get your stuff together, and you're a member of our community. I'm gonna give you a little discount. Bam, we're gonna help each other. No, we're gonna help each other. I want to help you turn your passions, your talents, your hobbies, and your interests. I want to help you take those things and transform them into value for your community and wealth for your legacy. Damn it, that's good. Are y'all ready for that? Are y'all ready for that? What I want Bridge City to do, I want Bridge City, hell, I want DLDD World Group, is to help people transform their values, their interests, their hobbies, and their ideas into value for the community and wealth for their legacy. Let's go. Jalapeno. I like that. And then captains are the next ones. Okay, I got to get back in builders. And I got to shut up in a few minutes. Our builders are the people who say, you know what? There are so many people out here who are either non-believers, non-religious, or just, maybe not, maybe they're more spiritual than religious, but they get married, they have weddings, they want ceremonies for their children, they want their own coming of age rituals, but they don't want to be bound to anybody else's dogma or doctrine. So we are empowering people. We're gonna train people. We're gonna license people. That's what our builders are. Our builders are gonna be licensed humanist practitioners. They're gonna be people you can call on for your weddings, for your not baptisms, for your weddings. I mean, if you want a baptism, like if you're just dipping people in water, our builders, our licensed humanist practitioners, our LHPs will be available for you. We're going to help them market themselves. We're going to help them learn how to tailor their services and how to really sit with people, not from a place of authority, but from a place of partnership, to help people design rituals that are meaningful to them, to offer support services, never crossing that line of therapy, being able to refer people off at that moment, but providing support services. Our LHPs will be trained to offer coaching services, consulting services, and celebrancy services. And I honestly think this is the next wave of human industry. I think this is the most necessary wave, not just in light of the recent wave of artificial intelligence or language learning models, but also with the intense proliferation of social media. Which long before AI, I had already predicted that social media was creating a communal junkyard, a wasteland, if you will. These are our way. This is our way of creating a humanist profession, a human standard that allows for humanity to persist healthily, where that is literally our goal. That is our obligation. That is our vocation. That is our obsession. That is what we are occupied with. Therefore, our occupation, that we are constantly an industry that is constantly focused on what's best for people, what's best for humanity. How can we support others? So again, they'll be able to provide coaching for whatever you're going through, deconstructing, reconstructing, relationship repair coaching. They can provide consulting for groups, teams, and celebrancy services, where they can not only lead these ceremonies and rituals for you, but help you craft them. And so even if it's a case where, like, hey, I don't want you to lead my ceremony. I want a ceremony that I want to do with my children when they turn 15 or 16. I just don't know where to start. Our celebrants, our LHPs will be able to sit with those people, give them space, and help them create rituals that will be meaningful to their family, hopefully for generations to come. We're creating a new support system. That's exciting to me, y'all. That's exciting to me. We're basically about to create secular preachers that are more professional than any version of a preacher you've ever seen. These folks are about to be rock stars. They're about to save us from our fucking selves. I'm excited about our LHPs. And just in kind of in honor of that excitement, I'm about to open up my own LHP booking page as well, so that people close to me already know, and they definitely benefit from that support. But I'm going to go ahead and make it available to others. So you'll be able to go on our website and book some time with me, whether you need a coaching, a consulting, whether you need celebrancy planning. Now, if you need celebrancy work, I'm going to be honest with you. Because I live in Alabama, 9 times out of 10 don't live as close to you as you want. So if you got 99 problems and money is a lot of them, we may want to just do the celebrancy planning with you, where I help you design rituals that mean something for you. I could probably even find someone in your area that's connected to us and get them licensed, so they can provide the services for you there. Because otherwise, I'm not cheap, and I don't want to offend anybody with that. You're gonna have to pay for me to get there. You're gonna have to pay for me to eat while I'm there. and then you're gonna have to pay me for doing it, so that's a lot for some people, and that's not really the goal. I mean, if you're getting me, let it be because it's something that's really important for you, that you're like, no, I really want it to be, we want it to be Darante because it's important to our family. We have this milestone. Don't be trying to get me just to flex, because honestly, that you can be creating opportunity for more people within our community who want to offer those services, and I like to do that. Again, you're always going to hear me kind of deflect from this personality paralysis thing, like where if it's not Darante, it's not special. We're not going to do that. We're humanists. There are no celebrities, and I'm just me, and honestly, you don't really know me, so please don't glorify me, don't deify me. I actually don't like when people deify other people. I don't like when people deify themselves, so don't do it to me. All right, but okay, now, so you already know about the builders, the host, which you can't see behind me. Now, they will be not just licensed humanist practitioners. Obviously, they'll have to be LHPs first. But what we're going to be training them in is more industrial organizational psychology, is how to run an organization, how to run a nonprofit. It's going to be human resources. It's going to be media. It's going to be music. It's going to be staffing. They're going to have to understand the Bridge City Dream Team, which I got to give you all links to, because we're certifying them to lead local campuses, and there's just so much excitement that comes out of that. So they will be certified community practice executives. So that's we call that a CCPE. CCPE. So there'll be an LHP CCPE. I told y'all we're starting a new industry. Okay, so I got a little bit more, and I gotta go, and I'm hungry. Anybody else hungry? Am I the only one that's hungry? Is it just me? All right, so let me wrap this up. Something exciting that I just wanted to get off my chest. I found a way to simplify our purpose, mission, and vision statement for Bridge City Global. Because our purpose is to be a better way to connect. Our mission is to build community that is people-centric, progressive thinking, and life-affirming. And our vision is to be a bridge to better. And so, bam, I'm gonna simplify it. Y'all ready? Are y'all ready for this? If you're ready, can I get a jalapeno? Can I get a hell yeah? The simplified version of this. Simplified version: connect better, build better, live better. Don't that feel better? Oh, I like that. But yeah, connect better, build better, live better. That is our purpose, our mission, and our vision as Bridge City Global. To give you a language for it, like what we're doing is we're reclaiming the third place. Like the Christian church, the religious world, superstitious world has dominated the third place for so long. And then what the third place is, it's important because it's a vital space, public space for social connection. It's a vital public space for social connecting, community building, and civic engagement outside of home and work. Home is the first place. Work is the second place. Bridge City is the third place. It's a place where people can get community and belonging, civic and cultural growth, identity formation, and we can support the local economy. That's what we're doing. I'm telling you, this is the secret sauce that other people are missing. And once we demonstrate this, I'm telling you, y'all, the world is going to change. This is about to be the domino effect. This is how we rise. This is how we rise. All right. So personal thoughts, and I'm almost done, y'all. I'm literally at the bottom. I am making more time to breathe now. I got to spend a lot of time with my kids this weekend, and just realizing how important it is that no matter what, and no matter how important I find the work I'm doing is, I can't do this at the cost of not being available and present for my family. You know what I'm saying? And so I've been trying to explain that to people in so many words, and it doesn't seem that people get it. It's like, I do really have a busy life, but I'm making time to breathe now by saying no and sticking to it. The reality is people aren't going to trust me if I don't trust myself. If I'm making it look like I'll cross the boundary and I'll do it anyway, then people are going to keep expecting me to do it. So no, my no is about to get really loud. Okay, it's about to get really loud. And I'm also leaning more into building a DLDD World Group. And so which I think I've shared with y'all a little bit, and I'm going to bring them on. Y'all have already met Robert, but DLDD World Group officially has our two first like real team members, and that's Robert Richmond as our head of product and Ashley Wilmore as our head of community, which is like they've been excellent so far, and we're still just in the very beginning. I have a meeting with both of them tomorrow, so they're working with me with DLDD World Group. DLDD World Group, we have several programs and projects within it. The most recognizable program that we have, which is our priority program right now, is the one you're participating in right now, Bridge City Global. So they'll be helping me with that. But we do have quite a few other roles that I'm about to be looking forward to fill. So I'm going to be spending really more of my time in that executive space for a while, so I can build the infrastructure that we need to actually be able to provide these offerings. And I'm so serious into this that I was working on like the job ads for making these. Like this was the email that I was going to send out to our team that I was just putting together last night. And it was like, DLDD World Group is expanding with a growing reach across YouTube, Bridge City, Window Shop, and Mastermind. We're assembling a founding leadership team. We're looking for high-performing, purpose-driven leaders who see the potential in building something that outlasts us all. Roles begin as volunteer-based, but are designed to evolve into fully compensated executive positions as we scale. If you thrive in creative autonomy, lead with purpose, and believe in the power of people-centric innovation, we want to meet you. Our open roles are, and take a listen to these. This is where it gets important. Our open roles are head of production, head of operations, head of growth and partnerships, head of tech, executive assistant / chief of staff, email and social media managers, and donor and grant recruiters. Now, all of these on here are volunteer-based except the last two. The last two can actually be, nope, the last one, sorry. The last one is commission-based. And so that I'm actually going to be bringing people on the team. I'm missing another one too. I got my donor and my grant recruiters. Oh yeah, and a sales team. We're looking for sales reps too. So the sales reps and the donor and grant recruiters will be commission-based. Isn't that awesome? Because again, a major part of what we're trying to do is create opportunity for other people. So and so building the team is really going to empower us to do a lot more. And so I'm excited about that. You're going to see our Sunday sessions changing a little bit. We're going to have more people involved. So what's next for me, and this is where we're done. Let me go ahead and make this screen small so I'll know where I need to go to when I close out. I don't know if y'all noticed, but a lot of times when I get on here, when we get to the end, I got to figure out what to click to get us out of here. But once we have a head of production, that will no longer be on my plate. So I won't even be worried about it anymore. A lot of people try to give me advice on better ways to produce the content. And I'm like, you have a severe misunderstanding of what I'm signing up to do. I didn't sign up to produce. No. See, if I'm producing from the executive level. You understand? Stop trying to bring me down there. Nope. Don't, please, for everybody who's watching, y'all hear me well. For everybody who's watching, when you're watching my stuff, don't you be putting no production quality standards on here, because I don't have a head of production yet. Hell, I don't even have a production assistant. My value, and hear me well, my value is not the quality of the production. My value is the quality of the content. My value is the quality of the information. My value is the sustainability and scalability of the strategy. Y'all better talk to me out there, jalapeno. My value, I'm not going to let anybody shame me about something that is not in line with the value that I bring. You know, it's like, dang, boy, that car broke down. I'm not a mechanic, so you're not going to shame me about that. And so that's how I feel about production quality stuff. What I'm looking for are the people who say, hey, your quality sucks. Let me take it from here. Oh, damn, you're going to be my friend. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how we play that game. So as you can tell, my no is getting louder. As I said, I can't expect people to trust me if I'm always preferring their 10 minutes of thoughts to my 10 years of planning and my 2 decades of experience. I got to make it very clear to people like that's going to be a hard no. That's going to be a really, really hard pass. And I'm also working on ways to make myself more available to the community in ways that make sense and add value through our new global campus. So you're going to, again, as y'all have heard me say, if once you come on to our new platform, You'll immediately have a little more access to me structured wise. I'm gonna make my licensed humanist practice available for more people to meet with me. Again, I will warn you in advance, I am not cheap. And that's a message that I'm having to kind of put my foot down in the secular community, because now so far, and this ain't a dig at nobody, doing it for Mississippi was beautiful because it's a state college, and the White House is attacking state college fundings, especially in events that include an atheist. So I was very grateful for them fighting back to make that opportunity happen. But I've had to take severe steps back in participating in secular events, that is making me very, very weary participating in them at all, because I am a professional communicator. I'm a professional speaker with over 2 decades. And I'm going to be honest with you, as good as I am at what I do, as much value as I bring, I always kind of walk away like, damn, did they do this because I'm black? Now, I'm black, so my mind is going to go there. You better believe my mind is going to go there. Or maybe it's just because I'm new. But damn it, check my resume. Because what I can't do is keep footing the bill. I can't keep paying to travel. I can't do that. No, I have a family. I have a family of 4. And I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I am a high value producer. I bring value in what I do. So I said all that to say I'm not cheap. When I left the game, my minimum honorarium was $5,000. And so I'm having people, like, I've had to deal with stuff where I couldn't even get a confirmation of what's going on. Like, somebody invited me to speak at something, and they said, we're going to cover your spot. And they told me that through somebody else, like, we're going to cover your lodging while you're here. And I was like, okay, great. Yeah, I'll do it. And they said, we don't have the ability to do any type of other funding. I was like, okay, cool. I'll do some one-offs here or there. But then, like, I realized the week before it came up and I hadn't received any communication, no address to where I was supposed to be going, no confirmation of anything. I'm like, whoa, what the hell is this? Stuff for me, because from the world that I come from was a lot more organized than that. Like there's a whole contract involved, that there's an agreement of what we know what's going to be done. And then there's just the amount of people who still paying people with checks in 2025 is mind blowing to me. Like, damn, that's just a personal pet peeve. Oh man, that's beautiful. Yeah, I tell you what, the pressure and the stress is a lot. And it's not even always people trying to be malicious. Some people are just jerks because society breeds jerks and they don't know they're jerks. They're loving jerks and they will bring your jerks to them. Like, the biggest thing that I have to remind people of is, like, if I'm advocating for your full autonomy, don't show up in my life trying to take mine. All right? I'm advocating for a world that you can live as your full authentic self. Please don't show up in my life telling me my preferred way of existence triggers you. Fuck off. All the way off. I have so many people come to me. Well, I don't like the way you, I wish you change your beard. I wish you change your glasses. I don't like the way you pronounce that word. Oh, please don't say offering. That's going to trigger me from church days. Oh man, you say so much. Like, stop trying to fucking control other people and deal with your own fucking trauma. Stop that shit. If how are you trying to take away from me the thing that I'm trying to build for you? You revel in being able to be your full authentic self, but you show up to me, even though I have not said nothing to you about you being you, and you want to say, I don't like you being that way. That's because you ain't me, glitch. Get that glitch out your system. Glitch just feels better. It feels better, right? Got a little funny in it. But it's like, no, like, stop doing that. Like I'm never going to receive that well, ever. I love who I am so much that I do not let other people police me. You don't do that. You don't like what I do. You don't do it. You come back. Well, if I was you, you not. So go ahead and stop that sentence right where you are. Get the taste of me being you and you being me out your mouth. Go ahead and get it out your mouth. because you're not me. You don't know me well enough to understand why I do any of the things that I do, and I do not have to ask your permission to do anything that I do. And it would be an absolutely ludicrous task for me to try to shape all of my preferences around fucking strangers that I've never met. And you're like, damn, I got to figure out how to trigger people who I don't even fucking know, or they're going to be mad at me for triggering them. Damn. And I am going to do a Sunday session series on being triggered. Because let me tell you something, being triggered, and I mean this, I don't mean this in a negative way. Some people take it this way. Being triggered is a personal problem. I'm not saying it's not a valid problem, but I'm saying it's your responsibility to handle that shit. You know, you don't hold your triggers against other people. You have to learn how to live with your triggers. The only people you can hold accountable for your triggers are the people you are in a loving relationship with. You got you out there expecting strangers to bend their preferences to you is just as superstitious as expecting Jesus to solve your problems. I go back to what I said earlier, solve your own problems. You know, if you start realizing that something that somebody does is extra triggering for you, do what's safe for you and stop going to them. But you don't try to change who they are because it's uncomfortable for you. Leave other people the fuck alone. You welcome. It's tight, but it's right. Jalapeno. Yes, indeed. All right. So that's it. I'm working on ways to make myself more available, but I'm doing it with strategy. I'm doing it with wisdom. Trying to make sure that my family doesn't lose me. I have 2 seniors in high school that are getting ready to go to college. I need to be there for them, you know? And I also got a lot of stuff I got to do, y'all. And so again, I'm looking for workers. Y'all see your boy is about to be out here putting out job ads for volunteers. People are going to be seeing this shit laughing. But the right people who decide to volunteer with us at a high level are going to be a part of a regime that's going to help lift humanity. And that's really who I'm looking for. And, you know, for anybody, if it bothers you that we're looking for volunteers, and I'm like, what do you think I am? How do you think I got started? How do you think I got here? Like they weren't paying me to show up here. I had 52 subscribers. You don't get paid by YouTube with 52 subscribers, right? And YouTube money ain't that much anyway. But you know, I mean, but I got books and stuff like that. But I get here by doing the work when no one's paying me to do the work. I get here by doing the work because the work is important to me. I have a head of community now and a head of product who are doing the work for the same reason. They ain't getting paid. They could probably afford to pay me more than I can afford to pay them, you know, literally. But they see the value in this mission. They see the value in these programs and these projects. That gives us a real opportunity to build something that is sustainable, scalable, and something that sufficiently outlasts all of us, that makes sure that the next generations have a system to lean on, have people to depend on, have encouragement and have reminder of what we are capable of as a human species. That's my drive, man. That's my drive. And I am committed to it now more than ever. I've tried to partner with a lot of people since I've started this, and it just didn't work out quite right, you know? Like a lot of people don't really want to do the work. You know, and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be transparent. I think people are romantically attracted to the idea of me, but aren't really paying attention to the vision. Because it's like, I think people like my growth. I think people like my numbers, but I think many of them silently despise my vision. I think many of them silently despise my mission. You know what I'm saying? So you want me as a face. And I think if you can go through my videos and you'll find several spaces where I have absolutely promoted other events, other people in this community. I challenge you to go to some of the other established organizations, many of which that I've promoted within my community without having to have them there. I've supported several. I dare you to go to their page and say, hey, how many of them have they just platformed the work that Darante does? How many of them talked about Bridge City Global? How many of them have talked about what he does with Window Shop? No, but they all keep wanting me to do stuff with them in complete disregard for the work that I'm doing while saying, oh man, Darante is just doing great work. See, flattery does nothing for me. See, I learned a long time ago. I remember I was being filmed while I was a pastor for an interview for the news. And I was being filmed by an older pastor there. And he was like, saying all these great things that he had been hearing about me. And like, oh man, I can't wait to see what you got going on, man. You're just a new thing, give me all these really beautiful words. And I'm smiling, eating it all up. And my city's commissioner was there, and he was a friend of mine. And after we walked out, he pulled me to the side. He said, do you believe any of that? I said, honestly, I don't know. He said, let me tell you something. He said, I'll tell you real quickly to know if he was being genuine or not. I said, how? He said, did he offer you an invitation to preach at his church? And that's something that would have never even crossed my mind, because I just don't even think like that typically. But I was like, no, he didn't. Then this man just lied to you. He just flat up lied to you. If he really thought you were that great, thought you were that awesome, why wouldn't he turn and say, hey man, I got to get you over here at Beulah. You got to come. You've got to come preach. And so I was like, yeah, you're not wrong about that. So I pay attention to red flags, and that's why I move on very quickly. There's a certain, I didn't mean to go off, but there's a certain segment of this community that is extremely childish and pedantic. And you won't see me doing anything with them at all anymore. I watched how they treat other people, and I want no plans of that. I'm never gonna join your bully crowd. You're never gonna get me with rage bait. I happened to grow up in the late 80s and the early 90s. And so thankfully we had a lot of movies and after school special about not being bullied when somebody calls you a chicken. You know what I'm saying? So I do find stuff like that beneath me, because I'm here to build something. I'm not here to play games. I'm not here to sit at the children's table. I'm trying to make my humanism mean something to the people out here that are struggling to make sense in this crazy world that we're all living in, And the best way that I can protect the value of others is to make sure that I protect the value of myself, and that I stand, stand on business, as the young kids say, stand 10 toes down, as they said when I was coming up. We down like 4 flats on a Cadillac. That's how this is gonna have to be. I'm gonna be me, wholeheartedly me. And I'm not going to play the political games of smiling at people in their faces while secretly talking about them and despising them behind their backs. I don't do that stuff. I left the church for that. I have a video on that. There's a video. It's an old one. I might redo it or something, but it talks about why I left the church and why the church for me felt like sitting at the children's table. And so when I'm in any conversation where we are talking more about people than plans, I'm getting the fuck up from that table. I'm not a gossiper. I don't do that. I don't care how dignified you feel about your gossip. I'm not going to gossip with you. I'm not gossiping because I feel like it's a sin. I'm not gossiping because it's fucking useless. Like you want to know why we're losing? Because we're investing more time and energy doing the most useless shit. We're wasting time and energy making memes, sharing false information just because it matches our narrative. And then if I asked what you were actually doing to combat the problem, it's not a damn thing. If I can give anybody some advice, get off the fucking bandwagon. Stop jumping on just because it's fucking popular. Once you understand the mechanics of misinformation, it is your responsibility to do the fucking necessary work all the time. The amount of people in the secular community that share false information on a daily basis, as long as it's about their enemy, is fucking mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. You're not better. You just chose a different circus. Get off the bandwagons, man. Get off the bandwagons. Get off these trends. Social media is not real life. Social media and media is not an accurate representation of what is going on in your world. If you want to know what's going on in your world, get your fucking ass out of the house and talk to your neighbors. That's your world. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you're setting yourself up, making yourself more susceptible for people to use you and your immaturity in their service while leaving your needs undealt with. And so on the other side of all of that anger, on the other side of all of that name calling, on the other side of all of that meme sharing, your broke ass is still broke and depressed. You're more anxious than ever. And at this moment, it ain't nobody's fucking fault but your own, because you have the ability to protect your mind. You have the ability to turn that fucking TV off. You have the ability to stop scrolling, but you're going to have to do it. You're going to have to start doing that shit on purpose. Get off the fucking bandwagon. That wasn't in my notes. That was not in my notes. I'm done with my notes. I got through those. I didn't think we was going to be here for 3 hours because I honestly, little secret between y'all and me, I just wrote those notes right before we started today because it's been a long week, man. I had to go to Mississippi. You know how nerve-wracking that is being black in Mississippi and an atheist after, the Charlie Kirk situation? That was a little nerve-wracking. Like, I was like, oof, is tonight going to be the night? Is someone going to be so mad about that they hear, oh, we got a black atheist going to be at Mississippi. Let's get him out. Man, that shit was stressful. That shit was stressful. And also I get high stress mode when I travel and do speaking engagements anyway, because it's really serious to me. My work is very serious to me, which is why when people undervalue my work in compensation, I'm heartbroken. I'm like, oh no, I'm not cheap. Now my clothes is cheap. I know I look good, but I'm a thrift store shopper. Like, I love the thrift store. Oh my goodness. And I mean, it ain't even just the clothes. Like, I get electronics from there, TVs. Man, I got to get some frames in there because, they always have these outdated frames and shit with ugly ass pictures in them. I can get those frames because those frames are really dope. And then, what I really need to do to fix my audio, they always have quilts and stuff. I need to get the quilts to put them in here to sound treat my room, my studio office place. But yeah, that's all I have for y'all today, man. I just really wanted to talk. I wanted to be casual. Obviously, this week I'm getting ready for California. As you all heard, I have run into a little snag where, because I live in Alabama, we started doing the new Real ID thing late. So I got to find a way to get my ID updated in a matter of time to make sure I can actually get on a plane. So we'll see how that goes. But other than that, man, I sincerely love y'all. Enjoy y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here today. And all of the ways to support are in the description. If you're wanting to come to California, man, you still got time to register. I don't know what happened, but people have been registering like crazy over the past 2 weeks. So space is limited, but you still have time, whether you want to meet us in San Diego or LA. But that's all I have for now, man. I love you all so much. Until next time, be the bridge and keep rising.